I'm good. Thank you for having me. This is very fun. I know that Sea Boulder is right now having a fraternity, not a fraternity, they're having a party. So I know this is on like a big screen at least one house in
Hell
Colorado.
yeah.
So, I mean, shout outs to them if they're still watching. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're doing beer pong or something else. But thank you so much. That's such a as most colorful introduction I've ever had. Thank you so much.
How we do it here in North America, baby. I'm not an American, but I am Canadian, which is, we get mistaken a lot for Americans at the airport. And it used to be cool, but now it's not as cool given the current political climate. But I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
Again, just really appreciate you being here. To all of, hopefully all of your friends and classmates at CU Boulder, and, having a big party for the League of Legends team here. We really appreciate anybody who's watching on the Saturday night. We're going to bring you the best cast that we can with the resources we're given. But I mean, CU Boulder Black must be feeling good after that game 1 win as the, scaling monsters of the Victor Sivir and Mochia on the Renekton. I don't know what you guys are feeding them down in America, but it's something good because that crocodile looked nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I did catch the last part of it, and I mean, I do have a slight issue kind of analyzing the draft, but I mean, we do have. I want to shout out the coach, who's also my coach, who also rushed home together with me from the party to be able to draft game 2. I think this team has massively improved in specifically kind of drafting and macro. I hope that was evident in how they played around dragons. I think most of the fights were in a favorable position to us. So I'm really excited to see what happens in game 2. I haven't really spent a lot of time watching them specifically because I mostly focus on us, the main team. But I am
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
excited to see what happens here.
No, no, appreciate the insights. I mean, I'm sure even just a little bit of context would go a long way for someone like me that's, too caught up in other things, League of Legends related, to really know the players by heart. But I know after game 1, I can tell Mochia is an absolute monster on that top lane. So it's going to be, I think, a lot about playing around them again because, yeah, the dives are very well executed by local library. I think every single dive pretty much resulted in a kill or a burn summoner, and that's exactly what you want to see on Sejuani, right? Like, and Bessa can power farm, but Sejuani can get the lockdown. But CU Boulder Black are immediately locking in an extremely powerful bot lane duo. Yunara Karma, just a ton of prio. Level 1, Yunara can carry that with that cultivation and getting the max stacks by just all-inning the opponent, getting the auto reset, and then Karma is just the early game domination support. But the side of Koi, they're adapting, right? Ezreal is great at being isolated, and Bard excuse me, is that roaming support can hopefully make more plays around the map because we did see Lydia on the rel just make so many plays happen across the map, really kept Koi in the game for a lot of that early mid game. So I really like the picks so far. Happy to hear your thoughts about it though, Bushman, on what you think about the team comps being drafted around the bot lane.
Yeah, here on the production side, I can't see the drafts. The prod
Oh, sorry
has
about that. I
the
will send you the
the
link.
the prod has the lobby right now, so I can't really comment. But I do know our coach really likes Karma specifically, and also I will join in here. So I'm gonna have to take a minute to sort of take in what happens. So it's the Ezreal first pick into a strong bot lane. I think this makes a lot of sense. And I do also want to highlight. I think the Shyvana last pick is something that's kind of unique to local library. It's going to be really hard when you know these people by their first names. Um,
Don't
but
dox them like I doxed my caster earlier.
yeah, exactly. I mean, but this player plays a lot of Shyvana, and I think also recognizing that Silas is going to be out, and Koi took it away, and then picking Shyvana on R3. I think that's a good kind of snipe by either the jungler or the coach.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to take a bite as you're going through your
Oh,
explanation, but no, it's all good. I was just gonna say that, Shyvana, what do you think about this champion so far? Because I haven't really seen it in pro play a lot at all, and I think she's only overtuned if you let her farm, and I don't know if Koi with the Pantheon bar are really gonna let her do that.
uh, I mean, yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. I think she is susceptible to being invaded early, and thusly having her cycling camps be disrupted, and that's gonna result in her losing a lot of durability. I mean, if you're looking, it looks like Koi hasn't locked their jungler just yet, so we're gonna have to see what happens if they take a bit of a gamble. I saw they lock Ambessa before, so a Kha'Zix, for example, if Koi is like really feeling themselves, could be something that they could venture into. But I think in these kinds of like lower divisions, I think this is a safe pick. I think I know local library likes to play Lilia, and Shyvana kind of slots into that niche as well. And I do think that probably the Shyvana is gonna get to do what she wants, and if she gets to do that, she will be scary.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think if you don't, interrupt Shyvana on her, usual clear into just scale up, I think her late game's monstrous and she gets deceptively tanky. And now with the Cassante, champion that has 3,700 health, 500 armor, 300 magic resist, 15 mana on the Q, goes true damage, has the knockback, has the wall jump. Shout out Showmaker. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to actually punch through the front line, but I like that Koi, the Yone. It's just a damage dealer. The mixed damage, the true damage is, I might play some Yone, so I'm not going to say he's overtuned, but he does do a lot of damage. But Ari as well with the bonus true damage on that Orb of Deception. Most Ari players also, buy that Malignance. There's actually some decent tools to punch through because I don't really see Ezreal Pantheon doing enough damage in that late game, especially if Shyvana Kazante get their items. But with the Karma locked in, or sorry, the Annie locked in, CU Boulder Black all just I think have a pretty standard team comp again, right? They have a bruiser jungler, a tank top, control ish mage mid. Annie's more of like a burst mage, but she does have great control tools. And then just a standard support, enchanter support with the 80 carry Unara being extremely strong on the hyper carry. So we've seen Sleep and Treeglader just survive long enough to make stuff happen. I really think it's up to Koi's mid top side with the help of the Bard to make plays around the map.
Yeah, I agree. I do think this kind of carries over the thematic strengths that both of these teams showed previously. Sea Black had these kind of hefty front lines that was hard to kind of punch through with an Enchanter and then a standard AD carry Koi. They drafted the Akali, the Ambessa, the Aurora more aggressive, and I think they continued that. And there are some strengths for Koi that I do want to highlight. I think the pairing of RE Pantheon is very formidable, and I think that paired with the Bard is what we're gonna have to look for Koi to gain an edge in this draft. Because I think similarly to their previous game, I think if C Black gets to 25 minutes and there isn't some massive lead for Koi, I think it's going to be really scary to approach these dragons for them. Because if I'm just sort of allowed to go forward, look at the
Yeah, go
Annie.
nuts.
Who on Koi can like tank an Annie combo, and who of Koi can like engage without getting a Tibbers thrown in their face? It's really Bard. So I think Koi is going to have to be quite clever in how they play the map and then be aware of sort of the really hefty front line that exists for Black.
Yeah, couldn't agree more there, Bushman. I guess that's why you're the goat of CU Boulder Gold. I just think that the one positive thing that Koi have going for them is that Yone can practically never lose against Cassante if they play it normally, right? Like you can't actually get locked up long enough by Cassante to kill you 100 from zero. So I think there's a lot less offensive pressure. Shyvana's not really a ganking jungler early the same way Sejuani is, right? So there's that pressure that Mochia had in that top side that really led to a lot of the team fight wins for the side of CU Boulder Black. I just don't think it's going to be there the same way. So, yeah, and we saw that Mako on the Mbessa was making a ton of plays. Every single time they had ulti, it felt like they would find a kill. And JVI on the Akali, they played lane pretty standard. You can't really force on a Rod of Ages, Merc Treads Victor, right? So hopefully with this Ari against the squishier target being that Annie, with the help of Pantheon, who's just such a strong early game jungler, I think they will be able to make a lot more plays on the map. Like I'm expecting at least one four-man play on the bot side of CU Boulder Black, with the Ari being able to roam, the Pantheon using the Grand Starfall, jumping in from anywhere essentially with that semi-global ultimate. And Yone's happy to just farm and scale. Once you hit Blade of the Rune King, once you hit Shield Bow, if you're on parity with the Cassante and you don't waste your E just, running at his face and you time it correctly, you should not be losing lane the same way that you'll lose Aurora versus Renekton once they get ahead, right? Like, yes, maybe you won't kill him, but you can clear waves fast enough and never die due to the Soul Unbound. But happy to get your thoughts on, more of the top side. Like, will Koi be able to do it in that early mid game, or will see Boulder Black, weather the storm once again and just scale into infinity with the Yunara Shyvana and just take the team fights? I'd like to hear final thoughts before we jump to a break.
Yeah, and I want to backtrack a little bit. You said on parity with the K'Sante, and I think that is kind of what the game hinges on for Sea Black. You have the Shyvana, like you said, she has the resistance in her passive. K'Sante also likes to be a lot of resistances, but resistances in this case is kind of, it exists to a threshold where, are you tanky enough to sort of live in a way, and that sounds stupid when I'm saying it right now, but can Kisante be tanky enough to where he just doesn't lose lane to Yon? Can Shivana be tanky enough to where she can frontline? I think a lot of these things are very dependent on how well Koi squeezes Sea Black, and so I do fundamentally agree with you that there is a lot of pressure on Koi, and they have picked up a lot of tools in order to fulfill that. I think the dark horse in this is going to be the Bard. I think that is kind of the constant that's always going to be able to do these engages, because if Yon and Pantheon and Ari becomes too fragile to do the engages, I think they are going to struggle.
Right. Yeah. That late game engage point. I've talked about this many times on cast before. Is that it's just without a reliable tool of engage, it's so hard for you to start fights when you want it. Like, yes, CU Boulder Black doesn't have the best tools. Like, it's mostly just Annie and Shyvana just throwing out their ultimates and hitting a stun slash point. What is it? 0.5 second fear with the Dragon's Descent. But Koi again, they don't have many tools either. It's just really just hoping for an Ari charm, hoping for a good bar ultimate, and yeah, I think both once it gets to the late game, like you said, the face check is dangerous. And yeah, I appreciate the insights from you. I appreciate that you said you agree with my insights as well. Or if not, I got to start talking smack about Sweden. But
Oh, okay.
I kid. As we're not a perfect country either. But with that, yeah, with those final thoughts, I think we're ready to jump into a quick break. Give us some time, some breathing room before we jump into game two official start. So for everyone watching, again, really appreciate you taking part of this stream between Koi and CU Boulder Black. For everyone from CU Boulder watching, hopefully at that party, hopefully you're having a great time. Not doing anything illegal, but I'm not a narc. But with that, we again please extend your thanks to Bushman for jumping at a very last minute occurrence and just giving some awesome analysis, which I'm sure will continue into game two and onwards. But with that, we're gonna jump to a quick break, and we'll see you guys very soon. What is up, everyone? We are back. Risen Esports Spring Unstoppable League for Season 16. It's Week 7 and it's playoffs as Koi take on CU Boulder Black, who are at a 1-0 lead. As we're going to be, it's me, Kevin Dunk, on the play-by-play, and we're joined from a wonderful guest from across the pond, excuse me, not from the pond, but joining us also on site live from Boulder, Colorado. It's the Bushman, and we really appreciate you being here. So, gotta stop already as we're seeing some trades. Local library taking a chunk from the Bard already. But we're talking about how Sweden is one of the greatest places in the world. Exported the best top 3 exports out of Sweden is Baus FFS, of course IKEA, and we have Reckless, the LEC former EU LCS superstar. But a Swedish man goes into a job interview, and he says, and the interviewer says, yeah, where did you come from? He said, oh, I came from Yale. And he's like, wow, Yale, that's a great school. I think we're going to hire you on the spot. And then the Swedish man goes, wow, it's been so hard for me to find a job. Thank you so much. But with that terrible joke, I want to pass it over to you here, Bushman, as Anasway and Lydia are already trading heavily with the sleep here.
Yeah. My dad actually went to Yale,
Which Yale are we talking about?
Yale.
Yeah, perfect. I love that.
Yeah, I will say stream is a little bit choppy for me.
Yeah, same here.
Personally, but we are seeing some heavy trading in bot lane. I do expect this to be how it goes. I think Yunara needs to reach her. She needs to get a Q, and then she can get that auto reset in and like really stack the lethal tempo if she is to do anything. But it just looks like Ezreal has prio in this lane.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how you want to go. Anasui going for that press the attack instead of lethal tempo, which you sometimes see on the Ezreal. Oh, wait, I gotta stop myself. Mochi actually taking the losing end on that trade as Mr. Thatman's wins out on the extended ones. But Anasui going for the press the attack means they win the shorter trades, and I think that's exactly what you want as Anasui. Aggressive shift forward, Lydia whiffing the Cosmic Binding as we see the fidget spinner dealing some decent slows, but Sleep is still on the losing end of that trade. Mochia now aggressive with the trades back within the Topo strikes. Natman's already burning the potion. Mochia gets him on that Q3, is walking him down, hits the third Notofo, and it's a flash away from the Yone already. Mochia is actually weathering the storm, and Mr. Thatman maybe getting just a bit too aggressive with the positioning on that Q. Means they're going to get forced out, and their waves are in actually a pretty bad state. I don't think they can crash this, and now Shyvana's moving up top. Local library on the Shyvana is looking for him.
Yeah, Yon wanted that. I don't know if it's the 3rd or 4th wave crashed, and he did get chunk. If Observer can just like hover over so we can see top lane wave stat, that would be really good, because it looks like K'Sante is staying as well. Both of them are staying. Okay, I don't know if I know what's happening there. Looks like Yon
takes the back.
Yeah, I mean, I think Yon here is kind of wasting up time to take a reset. I think he could have just taken a reset and didn't have to TP at all. K'Sante was running low on mana. That is sort of one of the weaknesses.
Look at the mystical journey into the flash. Instant stun. Bruv still has the flash though. JVI looking for him. They don't even need the flash. So JVI keeping the charm close to the chest and just doesn't even wait for Bruv to flash away. So it's going to be Mako picking that up with the Comet Sphere. Great gank from the Bard. Sleep now putting some pressure on Anis. We seeing the Bard in the mid lane. But great moves from Lydia. That was a great portal. It just goes all the way across the wall. There's no chance that Annie could have seen them. And yeah, it's going to be Koi coming to an early start. The Pantheon already on 1 kill.
Yeah, for sure fun to see Koi kind of bounce back. Losing a game, they put the support on something that they obviously feel comfortable on, because I feel like that's an angle that Bards only take when they like feel very, very comfortable on that pick. Very fun to see them kind of fight back. We did see Boulder kind of push back when they saw that Bard wasn't in mid anymore, so they did get the chunk on Ezreal, who is now kind of in dire straits here. I think Boulder should want to just keep the push on. They have a reset on him as well. Potentially even that Shyvana should just skip camps and go down, because I think this Ezreal is feeling really uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, the Karma's early damage is great. Oh, Mochia getting that Q3, and that's the problem with the Yone. The Q3 is so telegraphed that it's hard to not walk into that Q3 of the Notofo strike. So Mr. Thatmans has to play a bit safe. Maybe Q a little bit further back, and then Mochia just is playing the matchup great as they're up about a wave and a half Like you said, Anasui, I think, is going to take this back, going to lose a bit of the wave, but I think it's okay for them to get the reset. So far, I mean, Sleep and Treeglade are just happy that they're, yeah, they have Prio over this lane.
Yeah, they do, and they are gonna get a reset, a pretty good reset, I think.
Oh, Gia looking
There are some heavy
aggressive. Hits the
trading.
Pathmaker,
He
has the
doesn't have enough
all-out.
ult.
Wait,
The
the
mana.
E actually was activated. What the? Okay, he snaps back and whiffs the soul on, or sorry, the Fate Sealed completely. Mochia, like you said, has no mana, but Mr. Natmans is choosing to stay. In an extended trade, if he gets a lethal tempo, I think the Yone wins, but he just doesn't have any cooldowns anymore. Tibbers thrown in the mid lane, JVI taking a chunk, but that is the Tibbers down. Mochia has enough mana for one more Q. Okay, in this bot, there's too much stuff happening as local library chunked out a little bit by Lydia. This dragon is started by Mako, but I don't think CU Boulder Black are taking this lightly. They're approaching.
Yeah, there's no ult on the Shyvana. I think Boulder really, especially also with Tibbers going down for that chunk, I think they should just play for that mid trio, maybe get like a plate potentially here, because as we're saying, local library does not have ult. They really need this ultimate ability, this ultimate for Shivani if they are to do anything, especially also with Ezreal did take a bit of a hit on that wave, but with that also comes that they're gonna be able to be first in hitting bot wave. So Koi did have bot prio and potentially also even mid prio leading into this dragon, so that's gonna be an easy pickup for Koi.
Oh, wait, and see here, though, fighting over the blue buff. Local
Might
library
gets ult.
does get this might, but Mr. Thatmans is here. Magical Journey gets him a little bit closer. Ultimate invested, but Mr. Thatmans, I don't think can chase. Neither can Lydia. JVI is walking up, but yeah, they're just not close enough. So, yeah, like you were saying, the Ezreal did lose a little bit, but they did help secure that dragon, and I think that's exactly what you want. Oh, we see Grand Starfall going in. Big damage onto the Karma. Mako actually investing the empowered E. Sleep looking for the flash over the wall, maybe. Actually looking to fight back, and they choose... Wait, did they flash into the wall? Sleep just goes down there with the barrier as well. I thought Mako made a bit of a misplay, but I think they knew their champion better than I do because, yeah, the empowered E was just enough to get close, and Anasway fires off the Mystic Shot for the kill, and now it is the bot side of Koi looking very happy there with that first kill. Treeglader gets the heal as well, but Sleep just not being able to flash the wall means they go down.
Yeah, the Grand Starfall did kind of split up the bot lane for CU Black, so Treeglader couldn't really enchant, do his job as the enchanter and help Yunar in this trade. Potentially if they are together, then maybe they can get a bigger chunk on Ezreal, do something else, but it doesn't look like it. Now they do actually cancel Ezreal here, kind of destroys the tempo a little bit. Doesn't look like this is gonna result in anything. Local Library did lose their ult now. I think they are... It's gonna come up actually. Wow, that jump's OP. What?
I do agree with that. That is something I absolutely agree with. Oh wait, Pathmaker blocks the Q3. Mochia just getting a huge chunk, and Topo Strike hits for the Q3. Mochia also still has the all-out, but Mr. Batman's is trying to kite. All-out invested, as it's going to be trade of the Fate Seal to just get the Yone away. And this is what we were talking about here earlier, Bushman, is that, yeah, the Yone pretty much wins early until the Yone gets some items. It's just about staying on parity because you can't kill him through that Ninja Tabi, and Mochia is just way too tanky for the Yone to shred down, but now they're fighting on this top side. Flash away from the Pathmaker. Mochia has the Q3, and it is a full level up, and now the Pantheon and the Shyvana are fighting. The Ahri is moving closer. Mr. Natman's investing that Soul Unbound, but still taking a huge chunk, fully stacked up on the lethal tempo. Local Library actually got forced out away from the Grubs by Mako, and it's going to be 2 Grubs over to the side of Koi, as it's just going to be Local Library picking up 1. I think the Prio from JVI's Ahri just made it so that the Shyvana had to back off.
Yeah, I don't really love what Mochia did there. He had the dream of the insect Kissant ult, but I'm actually I'm a bit of a hater of it actually, because what that does is that it trap, because Kissante puts himself behind you, it makes it so you have a clear shot to just run back. So if he just ults you and teleports between you and your tower, he could potentially have cancelled the ult from Yon. And also I just think you don't need the ult there. Grubs are spawning, and we saw that because Mochia was kind of he's just fighting with Yon, he couldn't move down, didn't have the ult to contest the Grubs. So the Grubs just went the way of Koi instead, even though I do think that big chunk there coming in from Annie. But I was gonna say, I do think Boulder had a good shot of contesting these Grubs, but they didn't come through. And I'm sensing a bit of a indecision or not really being on the same page from this team.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, Tempered Fate goes completely wide, bruv. Good sidestep, but
Oh
now
my god.
ultimate invested. Grand Starfall hits. Oh no, it's a flash in a straight line, and JVI just lines up the charm. Unfortunately, bruv, I gotta say what the bruv to that, because he unfortunately flashes, but still dies. JVI hits him dead center with that charm, and he's gonna go down. So 2 ultimates invested by the side of Koi right before the dragon spawn. Or sorry, it's still in 40 seconds. I thought it was a bit earlier than that, but gets a great kill for the side of their mid-jungle duo. Means that the Ahri is set further ahead of the Annie, and I think, you know, you can chunk out with the Tibbers, but you can't walk up that far knowing there's multiple globals. So it's going to be the side of CU Boulder actually going down 3-0 here.
Yeah, I'm nominally not against just using always
there's still a
get
fight here. Mako gets the stun instantly on local library. Oh my god, flash charm onto the Karma, who flashes away. Lydia did not hit the Cosmic Binding for the stun. Local library still has the ultimate. JVI does not have theirs, and neither does Lydia, so it's just the Shyvana with the ultimate as Sleep starting to run down the Ezreal. It's a bit dangerous for the side of that matchup, but yeah, it's getting a bit spicy as they want this dragon fight.
Yeah, and I think keep an eye here on the Tibbers. I don't think this top fight means much, and I think what matters is this dragon. Look at the Tibbers cooldown and how CU Boulder Black is gonna play around this dragon, because dragon is being called. It's gonna be Tibbers won't be up, so eyes on Brav here. Doesn't have flash, but needs to hit a stun on anyone that's moving in. But we haven't connected Sleep either, so this is really sketchy.
They're going for the steal as Mako gets it. Local library smites early as we see here. Oh my god, the ultimate hits. The Yone actually teleported in. The Fate Seal hits local library, who gets the big stun on them. Bruv is going so low. They don't have the Tibbers just yet. They finally get it, but it's too little, too late as Ansui gets him with the Mystic Shot. Now the magical portal into the flash. Gets on top of the Yunar, who flashes away. Mako hits another Comet Spear. The laser to trade back, and the Yone making it to the fight makes all the difference. But it was the smite, actually, excuse me. It wasn't local library going early. It was just Mako smiting it early, and they got the instant Comet Spear. But now look at this. Truglader is here as the Yone's taken so low. He's going to go down to the Shyvana, but trade over is the Yunara as local library is taken too low. Aegis Assault goes wide, but it doesn't matter. Lydia picks it up, and now they're looking for the dive on this Karma. The wave is caught. JVI dashing in, misses the charm. The stun is perfect, though, as Anasui just doesn't get the kill, unfortunately, with the Mystic Shot. Bruv TP's back in, and he gets the Disintegrate. Doesn't actually stun because I think he used that second part of the W, the cone, wasted the stun there, so they can't follow up, and Bruv can't actually get any cleanup kills. Yes, Mochia's farming the top plates for free, but the entire team fight and the Dragon go to Koi, who blow open the game now with a 3k gold lead.
Yeah, disaster for the side of C Black. And I'm just seeing indecision. There's a bunch of things that just aren't aligning for them. First, Brav didn't have ult because of the chunk. I think if we want to contest this dragon, we need there to be any ult, and there's also has to be a stun up. Neither of these things were true. We also need to connect the Yunara with the team. We saw that there was a massive group of Koi members.
Oh, wait, Grand Starfall in the bot lane. Sleep getting chased down by Mako. Gets the speed up from the Empowered E. Sleep is getting a big shield, but gets stunned into the wall by the Cosmic Binding. Does Mako have the damage? Execute with the Comet Spear is not enough, so it's going to be Lydia who steals it. Now Lydia is trying to save their junglers. Mako takes so much damage from the Shyvana. I think surely they must go down. It's a shutdown over to local library. Unfortunately for the Pantheon, they could not escape. The 2v3 ends up being a 1-for-1 as local library gets a big shutdown on the Pantheon. The one item, and now the blasting one completed. This Shyvana starting to hit her mid-game power spike as we see in the top side, just constant, you know, loose spaghetti fight from the top laners. But in the end, I think that was more worth it for the side of CU Boulder Black, who get a lot of money on the Shyvana. Oh wait, Mr. That Man's getting caught up by Mochia, taking a lot of the Topo strikes, trying to fight back in the extended trade. I still think they lose though. As we see here, finally Lydia makes it, but it's just the Bard. As we see the drag back in from the all-in Pathmaker doesn't hit. As we see the Fate Seal back in, Mochia's taking a ton of damage, and there just is barely enough from the Bard, from the Yone. Cuts him to pieces with the help of this trusty Cosmic Hermit, or whatever the heck Bard is, but great roam play from the Bard, securing some much-needed advantage in the top side for the Yone. The gold lead extends, and now looking in the mid lane is Koi Lydia. Okay, Truglader is here for the shield, so I don't think Sleep can actually go down here as Anaspace trading back with the Mystic Shots. decent damage with that Triforce spike, but still, it's fighting all over the map. And Bushman, hopefully you're back now, but we're seeing both teams get scrappy as Bruv drops the timbers on JVI, who's taken very low. Are they going to save the ultimate? It's a flash forward. JVI finally uses it, but it's too late to use the Spirit Rush as Bruv gets the shutdown. It was just JVI getting cooked by the bear, and they stayed a bit too long. Oh, wait. Ooh, okay. Sleep dodging with the fancy feet is good. Bushman, if you're back, just jump in any time, but for now, I'll just keep talking. Mid lane Prio going over to the Ezreal. Okay, so 6 kills advantage to the side of Koi, but they are on a bit of a clock as the Yunara being that hyper carry. The Shyvana getting those stacks is a bit of a nightmare. So I'm getting a note from Bushman. He'll be back soon after a quick delay, just fixing up some stuff on the PC. But Lydia is making some great proactive plays on the map. It's actually Mr. Thatman's chunking up the turret in the bot side long enough to get the turret, choosing to swap it so that Ahri is fighting against the Cassante, because I don't think the Yone can actually win that. The Yone is finally going to hit that first item power spike, being the Bork, and Ahri has the true damage to maybe just chunk out the Cassante, and being able to wave clear is, I think, a better matchup for both sides. So in the end, it's still the mid game is up to anyone. The Shyvana's getting strong. The Annie's on 1 item. I think it's going to be a lot up to Anasway with the Ezreal, who's just pretty far ahead of Sleep on the Yunara. Can they be that deciding factor and punch through the beefy front line of CU Boulder Black? It's still too hard to tell right now, but they are likely going to want to fight over this dragon up in 10 seconds. Ooh, Yunara takes a big chunk from the Mystic shots. Anasway is being really good at hitting those, as Mr. Thatman still fighting Mochia in the top side, and everybody else is going towards the dragon.
Oh, I am back. I'm sorry, my
wait,
crash is viewers.
Have damage on the front, but he just one-shots JVI. Tries to take the Hex Gate. I think they can kill him, though. Anasway just needs one more auto, but no, the shield from the Karma is enough to save him. Oh, no, that was a terrible tempered fate as it locks Mako in, who tries to go for the kill on Bruv. They flash forward, they whip the Comet Spear, and they're gonna go down. Bruv lives on just barely any HP, and now Anasway gets chomped down on by the Ember Strike. Shyvana takes over the team fight, and it was just a comedy of errors for Koi as they whipped everything to try to kill Bruv. JVI didn't get a single ability off it, felt other than the charm. And it was just a mind control from CU Boulder Black getting them that first dragon of the game. And it's a team fight loss for them. They're down now. Oh my god, wait, what's going on top lane? Dragged back by the Soul Unbound, by the all-in. Ochia's getting the damage, flashes forward to follow with the Natofos. Maybe Mr. Thatmans actually wins this in a mono-e-mono 1v1. Mochia flashes forward, but it's Mr. Thatmans that picks up the kill. So in that honorable top lane duel, it is the Yone actually being able to take down the Cassante. Happy to have you back, Bushman, but yeah, CU Boulder Black absolutely capitalized on the mistakes of Koi in that Dragon team fight. They get the Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, I just want to go back to that dragon and just comment on. I do think when I just left off, it looked like CU Black had a bit of an issue connecting every pieces of their front line into this dragon, and that way the second dragon did not go their way. But here we see kind of the flip side of that, that Koi's comp really can tank and Annie engage. Someone is going to die, and I think then when Annie on the flip side doesn't die, Local Library just has free reign to just ult in and do as much damage as possible. And I think that's going to be quite troubling for the future of this Koi lineup, just how they are going to navigate these later team fights.
Yeah, you'd think that after hitting a charm dead onto the Annie, they would be able to get the kill, but I think just the pieces, like you said, just weren't connected. Anasway tried to jump in for that last Mystic shot, but it gets shielded by the Karma, and they cannot get the kill. And they invest so much in the Annie, who still managed to get all the abilities off. It doesn't really matter if you're dead at that point, and they don't even go down. So I would like to see Koi play a little bit more, controlled and not walk in so deep. As we see, gank on the top side. The Bard is there. Misses the Cosmic Binding, though. Mochia trying to clear this wave, and Mr. Thatmans, I don't think can actually clear the tower fast enough as they see the middle lane champions moving up. JVI on the side lane. I don't know if he actually wins this as he Spirit rushes in. Okay, ultimate Grand Starfall is good. Can JVI hit the charm as we go out way too close to Bruv? Gets it with the timbers. Bruv doing big damage but can't secure the kill. It is this dishonorable 2v1 that helps the Pantheon turn it around for the Ahri. And now in the mid lane, it's Anasway trying to wave clear against Tree Glader and Sleep, doing some decent damage with that True Shot Barrage and almost on the 2-item spike of the evolved Muramana. I think once Ezreal gets to that point, yeah, just hit that last breakthrough is going to be huge, so it's really up to Koi to leverage that mid-game power they have with the Pantheon, with the Bard stuns, and the Ezreal and that 2-item spike is so huge. I think they have to fight now before the late game scaling starts kicking in for the side of Boulder, CU Boulder.
Yeah, this is definitely a sign for Koi to really start squeezing. They did get this kill on, and it doesn't really result in anything. And see Black on like the flip side then can just use that information that there are 2 people down, no Pantheon, or is available to threaten the mid lane. So they were able to just push extra. I think right now leading up, I really think Sleep needs to get his Kraken Slayer or Runons rather online. We see the Yunar really wants this reset.
Mochia fighting back, but I think that's the point where Yone starts outscaling because Sante has the Pathmaker backwards. The true damage with the percent health max from the Blade of the Rune King is just so much better. Like, you can stack up the lethal tempo so quickly now on the 1.5 items with the Yone. Mochia is just starting to lose out on these trades, and it's looking really good for Yone in the side lane. As we see Lydia trying to make a play here too. Mochia does have ultimate Pathmaker for wait. Tempered Fate completely goes wide. Mr. Thatman goes for the turret, gets it. Mochia alls out and gets the Pathmaker to escape. So yes, it is the turret, but Mochia does survive. It's just constant scrapping. I love that card looking for these angles. But you have to think the more time they waste on this Cassante, the stronger the other team members get. And that, I think, is the worry for them. But you know, going into the late game, a 1k gold lead is not a lot against Shyvana, Yunara, but we're going to have to see here, Bushman. You know, will the late game scaling end up beating for the side of Koi? I mean, Yone is pretty scary late game, but like you said, no face check Niani and you're going down regardless.
He can for sure be scary. I think it is a bit of a threshold of whether or not can you kill Cassante on side under tower. I doubt that. I seriously doubt that, especially if Cassante continues to build the way he's building right now. I'm not sure what this is gonna be. I would probably like to see like a Randy's Omen coming in for this Cassante, or a Frozen Heart, for example. I'm not sure what this Giant's Belt is doing in his inventory right now. But for sure, there is an opportunity or a possibility for Yon where he can just take over sides, because I don't think there's anyone on Sea Black that individually beats him.
Oh wait, Starfall. They head onto local library who ulties out. What the hell is that? The Fate Seal goes completely wide, hits the air. Complete air ball as we see the TP coming from Mochia. So that is the TP. The Annie is here looking for the angle. JVI just jumps in and dodges the Timber. Scrub is taken so low and goes down to the Mystic Shot. Steve now trying to get a kill back. JVI is just barely living, who jumps back in. It's a trade of kills. The Annie kills the Yone, but they manage to get Sleep. And on the backside, Mochia is taking up so much. They get the stun through the Cassante, and Mako kills him with the Comet Spear. Now in a 3v1 is Mochia. Can Anasui do the damage? The Q3 misses. Great dodge from Anasui as we're seeing this Cassante just get kited out. All limbs across the wall. But can this Ezreal survive? They get the last Mystic Shot, they bury her, and they survive. What a great fight from the side of Koi. Local library ulted out and just completely abandoned the team afterwards. Yes, bruv, got the full combo, kills Mr. Thatmans, but in the end, that's Dragon Soul points and 4 kills for the side of Koi for just their jungler and the top lane. I thought JVI was doing something psycho there, but the Spirit Rush baits out the Tibbers and they go back in for the kill reset. Yes, they give their life, but they win the team fight in exchange.
Yeah, I want to commend Koi. I think this Pantheon Ori combo has really paid off. I was a bit skeptical because I do think that it does require a substantial amount of just kind of map knowledge, knowing where your teammate is gonna be at which time, and so.
Oh, bruv, flash ulting for the Tibbers. It was on a ward. Gets the shutdown on Anasui with the Disintegrate. What a unfortunate back position for Anasui, who goes down and gives a lot of money over to the Annie. Unfortunately, JVI couldn't even get a trade back there as they had to watch their AD carry just get melted. And, you know, a bit of gold lead clawed back for the side of CU Boulder, and Annie's 2.5 items, almost 3 now with that kill.
For sure, and I do want to kind of just build on top of what I said before. It does look like Brav feels a little bit iffy on this Annie pick. I don't want to flex. I have a friend back home who has 5 million Annie master points, and I never see him open with Tibbers just because it has that smaller. I think it's sort of practically less reliable than the W. What usually happens with a lot of Annie is that they open with like a flash W, because W is an instant damage, instant stun, and then they follow up with all of that. We are seeing Brav lead with Tibbers, which, I mean, it feels right. Of course, it's the big ability, it's the big bear, but I think I would like to see Brav instead use W to kind of catch the Ori when she dashes in, because it is kind of easy to miss the Tibbers in these kinds of moments.
Yanked by the bar. Mr. Thatman's does so much damage. Look at the true damage. Chunka Mochi who burned the W for the Pathmaker, and now Mako just gets him. Wait, nice buffer from that all out, but I think Mochia surely must die. Pathmaker empowered is good, but no, Brav TP'd in. This TP is in a bad spot as things go from bad to worse. Brav barely walks out, but the Ezreal jumps in. Now the ultimate invested from the Yone, invested from the Shyvana as well, as we see Lydia just troll his own teammate, but it's all good. Local library escapes. So does Mako, who barely almost died there to Brav's damage and survives by just a tiny amount. And that means 2 down. It's looking like Koi going for this Baron. Local library doesn't have ultimate, but does, and also doesn't have the flash, but the smite is still up. There's a vision ward, or sorry, there's a normal ward in the pit. Local library could try to go over, but they have no flash, no ultimate. Can they do it? Mr. Thatman's going over the wall to stop the Shyvana, who's taking a lot of damage from the Yone. Flash over from the Pantheon. What the hell, dude? You got a smite. Okay, it doesn't matter as they manage to kill the Shyvana. The Pantheon's not there for the smite secure, but it doesn't much matter as Koi get that. I thought that was a bit of a psycho play from Mako, but he knows his limits, and they secure Baron Nashor for their entire team, and that's now blowing open this game. Yes, Yunara got the tier 2 mid, but I'm sure you're much happier as Koi to get a huge power spike from that Baron secure.
Yeah, for sure. Again, it just feels like Boulder really isn't on the same page. Pantheon comes down really beautiful how Koi plays on sides with this ability. I think it's really impressive. Brav though, look at Annie.
Hey, Lydia, yeah, Brav is just gonna full burst the Bard, who walks out, barely is not gonna live. Now Brav looking for Anisui, who has to shift out. JBI now caught in the middle, has the Spirit Rush, but not going to use it yet, as they finally do to jump out of the root. Big True Shot Barrage does huge damage to Sleep as JBI is looking for more. They have one more charge of the Spirit Rush, they have the Flash, but they're not going to invest it. I think now with the Baron, you're just pretty much waiting for the Yone to play side lanes, but they're looking for local library. They get the stun with the shield wall. Is there enough damage, though, to kill the Shyvana? It's the flash charm, but it's going to get buffered by the Shyvana ultimate. The Dragon's Descent is good, and I think the Baron power play is getting stopped a little bit by the side of CU Boulder, as they actually lost a turn on the top side. They're not getting much in the mid or the bot.
For sure.
You just can't do anything.
Yeah, it was a good pick by Brav to kind of catch Bard here. Bard does really enhance the sieging potential of Koi. We see that when you don't have that Tempered Fate, you can't really make engages under tower. So I don't know if that was really intentional, but the outcome was for sure very positive for C Black. I'm a little bit troubled by how you see in these fights, when local library gets to ult into enemies, it's almost always a one fight for C Black. But when you kind of catch him out, force him to ult backwards, then you can just wait out the dragon form, and then the fighting becomes so much easier. Because we saw before that it really is the Annie Shyvana show when it comes to these team fights in order to take and engage.
Okay, the directed camp just showed us for a bit that the Bard did invest the ultimate to try to catch the Annie. Brav did make it out, but they're positioning over this Dragon. TP invested by the Yone. They jump onto the Shyvana, who has to flash away Mako with the Aegis Assault to block the damage. Lydia getting chunked out by the Tibber, so now that's down for Brav. Anisui still full HP. Steph using the ultimate. Fate sealed across the wall. Can't get the kill on Shyvana, though, but he gets the snap back with the Soul Unbound. Treeglader actually has to flash away from the, oh my god, the charm, as Brav eats a Mystic Shot and takes about half their HP from the empowerment from that Essence shift. Now 5 members here, very low HP bar for local library and Brav. The charm hits. Brav flashes forward but doesn't have the stun. Anisui killed him with the Mystic Shot as Mochia is tanking up the damage. Sleep taken solo, but Anisui is standing and fighting. Yes, there's a kill back for the Shyvana, but Treeglader getting roasted apart. And now Anisui shifts back in towards the Shyvana and is gonna go down, but look at this Yone is full HP. They're cutting them to pieces and the Shyvana can do nothing. Mochia gets kited out by Lydia, who flexes on him with the emote. A double kill for Mako, a 5 for 2 for Koi, and CU Boulder Black are scattered. They burn everything to try to get something. Yes, they get the Ezreal. Yes, they get the Ahri, but Lydia just kind of walked all over them. Brav didn't have the ultimate for the fight. They flash in, they don't get the stun, and it still means Koi get the team fight, and they're securing Hextech Dragon Soul, the best damn soul in the game, as Mr. Thatman's also farming up some freebies in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I think it really is indecision that is kind of the blade that kills C Boulder in these fights. We see that Koi feels so intentional by how they go in, how they do this very kind of low low commitment engages, burns vital flashes, burns Shyvana R, and then when the fight starts up for real, it just feels like Koi is always in such a really good position. In this last fight, Sleep, he didn't really have a front line. He went in, he did some damage, but in the end, there's only so much a Yunara can do when they don't have this Kisante or Shyvana standing in front.
Oh wait, Grand Starfall into the mid lane. They're looking for Sleep. He gets jumped on. The Spear Rush invested too and just exploded. The Karma tries to do something, but the shields are not enough. Like you said, the mid jungle duo was making stuff happen, and now the siege continues. Mid lane tier 3 goes down. The inhib surely to fall next as JVI just burning the Spirit Rush on the wave. It's going to be just 4 members here. They're looking for more. Bruv doesn't have flash, but does have to stun up. Mako getting very close to him. Tibbers invested on the Pantheon, who blocks a lot of it with the Aegis Assault. A great Temper Fade hits too, and the turret. Can they have the damage enough? Mr. That Man's ult on top of the Shyvana, who gets bounced back. What is going on? And the fight is completely scattered as he snaps back with the Soul Unbound. Mako tanking up the turret, but there's just no ability for them to trade back. It's CU Boulder looking for something, but they can get nothing as it's a jump back in for the Pantheon, who flashes away. Mochia just getting railed by this Mystic Shot monster that is Anisui, who's on 4 fully completed items. They're just getting blasted by this Ezreal, firing off at the gauntlet, and now Sleep is finally back with the Yunara, has the ultimate, surely up soon. Oh, Mr. Thatman gets a great Q3 and just shreds Sleep to almost 0 HP. Sleep now getting jumped on by the Spirit Rush, goes down to the Malignant, and JVI kills them all, as it's going to be Lydia securing another kill secure, all out towards the team as Mochia goes down. It's the Bard stunting on them once again, and it's going to be Koi tying it up 1-1 as they take down CU Boulder Black with their mid-jungle prowess. What a great game from the side of Koi as they turn it around to tie up the series.
A really unfortunate game, I think, or on the flip side, I think it was a very clean game by Koi. They drafted these key pieces in Pantheon and Ari, and they really executed on it. And I do feel like Sea Boulder was left feeling a little stumped. I think the pace of this game was too much for them to handle. They didn't really have time to set up objectives the way, from what I've seen, they usually do. Sleep didn't really get to pump damage the way a UNR would like to, and I think this game just run away from them.
Yeah, I gotta totally agree with you there. It was just mostly the side of Mako and JVI turning stuff around. I think, we had some mistakes with the charms. Pantheon, though, was doing some great ultimates every time Grand Starfall was up. It felt like there was a play being made. And Anisui, sometimes it is hard to play the Ezreal versus Yunara matchup because she just run up on you, but he played it so well. It felt like the Yunara could never get prio in the mid lane or the bot lane. And ultimately, I think that's what led to great team fights. I think Bruv on the Annie, like you said, maybe not the most comfortable, did burn a lot and did do the most damage for the team, but you can one-shot the Bard support, but ultimately you don't have any damage afterwards without the Tibbers. So in the end, I mean, Koi played great. CU Boulder Black, like you said, just look a bit disconnected, but it's shaping up to be a banger of a series because Koi punched back in game 2. Yeah, Bushman, any final thoughts before we jump to a quick break?
Well, I think what, and I'm gonna take the position a bit of a biased observer here. I'm not affiliated with Risen, so I can say that. Hopefully, I think Koi. I want coach to call them uh, call for more intentionality in how they approach things, put them on things that they are comfortable on, where they can execute and not be afraid of any mechanical misplays. Because I think if they are more comfortable on the champs they play, they can for sure show better than this. And they did show better than this in the first game.
Absolutely. What I'm hearing now is Bushman is you're gonna call the coach and immediately give him all that secret feedback. But I kid, Shirley. No, we're very honest people here. But I
I
think
know
what
where
I
he
want
lives.
to
I'll go to his house and tell him.
see. Perfect, perfect. But just last thoughts before we jump to break is just maybe get Mochia on something that can deal a bit more control in the early game. Like, yes, you can win lane as Cassante, but a 20-30 CS lead in the early game is just not really enough, in my opinion, to really send it further compared to game 1 where the Renekton just took over. So I want to see more from the side of Mochia, hopefully to get like an R5 counter pick and then just kind of run the town with it. So let's hope that works out. But for everyone still watching, we're gonna jump to a quick break. Thank you again for participating in our viewership tonight. We really appreciate it. Saturday night is busy, and we really appreciate it as well. Send your love to Bushman, who is jumping in here very low prep and just killing it. Sweden forever or whatever you guys say there. But with that, we're gonna jump to a quick break, and we'll be back very soon. Hello, hello, everyone. We return. It's us at Risen Esports for the spring, actually. Yeah, it feels like winter where I live, but Spring Unstoppable League, season 16 of League of Legends, baby. As we go into the quarterfinals match, it is Koi Pawn versus CU Boulder Black. Go Buffs, as it's tied up at 1-1 as Koi punch back in that last game with the mid jungle duo putting in so much work. JVI and Mako just making the plays happen as CU Boulder Black are, left a little bit rattled, as maybe they'll have to, think about a new game plan in game 3. But with that, I'd like to introduce you back to the rest of the team here. So it's me, Kevin Dunk, obviously, joined by Strias on production and special guest from the land of IKEA itself, Sweden. It's Bushman from CU Boulder, live on site, baby. This is America, and I'm sure you're loving it. But this is League of Legends right here. So we're gonna jump straight into draft. Bushman, as the color cast, what do we want to see from these two teams going in this game 3?
Well, I I've not done any prep for Koi, so I can't speak for them what I wanna see. And I guess what I will say for CU Black is that we did speak a little bit about this before we went into the break. I want to see some more comfort from them. One of the things that do kind of stand out is that Lilia, that local library is a huge Lilia player, and I'm actually surprised that Lilia has passed through 2 games and a ban phase, and that we didn't pick it on first. That has to be probably premeditated in some way. But I do want to just raise that is a possibility that can come in from then. And building on that, Jinx is along those ways very straightforward. I think a lot easier for comps to kind of play around. But then ice towards mid and especially top lane, how can we get a more favorable matchup?
Absolutely. I think the Jinx, like you said, is just a great solid team fighter. You have better range than the Yunara to get in the team fight, so maybe Sleep can just be more effective. But the Caitlyn Nico, I was just about to say, I hope we see a Nico or something because Caitlyn loves to have that bot prio. And we saw what Annis we can do with it in the mid game of last game on that Ezreal, right? Excuse
Yeah.
me. But Caitlyn Nico, just a very dangerous duo to go up against. You get hit by a single Tangle Barbs, and it is trap after headshot into Peacemaker into your full health bar going to the drain. But Jinx being backed up by the Lulu, classic pairing, hyper carry, supported by this annoying little Yorl that just gives her shields and heals and speed and bonus HP. So I like that the double range matchup is against Caitlyn Nico. Ultimately you still have to be careful about not getting hit by the root, but it is a lot easier when you have Lulu giving you shields to keep your health alive. And I think Caitlyn and Nico really need to farm plates and just have prio to be effective in that mid late game. So yeah, great adaptation I think by CU Boulder Black, and they Tree Glader is great on the enchanters, so why not keep it up? As we're gonna see Diana locked in here. Could be Diana mid, but also could be local libraries. Jungle Diana, I'm not too sure, but maybe give us some insight on that, Bushman. Yeah, CU
I,
Boulder is have again, they just have a pretty standard comp so far with their first 3 in Koi. I hope they invest some in top lane bans to really enable Mr. That Man's just like last game.
yeah, I do think that going sort of in order. I think that Diana is probably from local library. It could of course be a flex, but it does fit sort of the norm of what he usually plays: the Shyvanas, the Lilias, the Dianas, like the AP bruiser, heavy farming kind of thing. I do want to highlight that I'm a little bit scared for the CU Black bot lane. I do think it is not really an answer into the Nico, as it is much. We're gonna construct like our win condition, not really what wins into Nico necessarily. And I do also think that Lulu and Jinx kind of struggles into this bot lane that Koi has constructed. So I am a little worried about that.
Yep, totally fair assessment. I mean, it's an answer as in like you don't lose instantly if you pick a melee support, but yeah, like you said, Caitlyn still very powerful early game with the Nico. You still have to be good at dodging stuff. You still have to play carefully. It's like Lulu is like a life jacket. You can have it and it helps you a little bit, but if you're thrown into the ocean, I don't think it's going to do much because you're still going to drown. But with that, we're seeing a lot of mid and top lane bans being targeted. It's going to be Poppy Ornn for the side of Koi, and Yasuo Aatrox for the side of CU Boulder Black. I I like that, and hopefully Koi, now that they have R5 red, hopefully they save the last pick for Mr. Thatmans. I feel like, you know, likely Mako has a jungle that won't lose if they're blind picked, but we're gonna have to see what is locked in, as it's gonna be Talia. Okay, I'm not too sure about these champ pools, but I'm gonna do some digging, and it could be like a double flex in the mid and jungle because we've seen some Silas jungle lately, we've seen Talia jungle before. It's really up to the players to see what they want to do, but that is a lot of AP damage. If CU Boulder Black, I think, pick like a good tank, like a I don't know, like a Galio top or something that just doesn't die a lot to the initial burst of Talia Silas. I think they're in a pretty good spot for the Jinx to kind of be that late game win con.
Yeah. There is, of course, a side list that does kind of hamper the diversity of picks that you can do. Like there can be no Malphite, not that you really would want that in Totalia, but that is off the table and it does kind of restrict what you are. The Yasuo ban, of course, C Black does have a kind of Yasuo Diana combo that they can pull out, and does look like Koi did read it. Now, what is going to be the top lane pick here into the Nor? There are some, like Vayne, I've heard. I'm not sure if Mr. Dapmans plays Vayne, but that's like the most Nor counter I've heard. Could go Irelia if you're that guy. If
Are
you
you
want to
that
like.
guy though?
Well, I'm not.
I believe in you,
Oh,
Bushman. I've never seen you play, but I believe in it. It's gonna be the
I
Gwen, so that's a triple AP topside for the side of Koi, and there's not really a tank for the side of CU Boulder Black.
I say to local library. What's the AP Sunfire or the Holy Radiance or Coward, as we say in Sweden?
That you're sounding more like Bowser every match we cast together
Yeah.
as a Bushman, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, CU Boulder Black don't really have champions that build MR that well. Like, I mean, Gnar, you can build a Kaenic Rookern if you want to be like that guy.
This is a
But
good
Gwen
wits
still,
end game. I
yeah,
will
it's
add
a
that.
good wits end game, but I mean, Gwen still does true damage. The Caitlyn's still gonna hit you for bajillion. If you can invest very heavily in that MR, but late game Caitlyn will
Yeah.
just shred through you. So I like that Koi have a lot of like playmaking tools with the Silas, with the Nico, with the Talia. But I do worry that they seem to be allergic to a front line from what I'm seeing in both of our first two games. And CU Boulder Black do have just like that standard team comp again. I think the only thing spicy really is that Diana. I love that they have the playmaking tool of the Moonfall, and the Gnar is just kind of a wild card. Like, can you get the Mega? If that's a yes, that could be like a 5-man play with the Diana and the Hui just throwing out that AoE spell and Jinx firing from long. But on the other hand, right, Koi not only have the Nico, not only the Silas Talia against, champions that can't really get out of the seismic shove easily. Diana doesn't really have a dash unless you want to burn one of your engages. Jinx, again, no dash. Hui, no mobility as well. Silas has some pretty decent ultimates to steal. The Meganar is huge, I think. The Diana Moonfall is huge as well. And Hui's ultimate is nothing to scoff at. Like, that huge AoE is quite good for Silas as well to, like, lock you down with that slow, guaranteed that abscond abduct. So I think both sides have really clear tools of what they want to play around. But in my eyes, Koi are just like, we're going to kill you instantly with the damage and the burst, or we're going to lose the extended team fight. And CU Boulder Black again, they're sticking to their guns and say we're going to play 2 scaling carries and we're going to win in those team fights.
Yeah, I do like that you highlighted the Gnar. I think the Gnar makes sense as a blind pick. I don't love that we're giving it to Silas. I think that's like one of the sleeper ults that Silas can sleeper in that it's underrated. Like there's of course you always think about Malphite, but I think like second to that is almost Gnar. I think that does so much for the champ. I am just a little bit scared of how game two went with how hard the Koi pressed CU. That I'm just afraid that Gnar is going to be too squishy to really frontline if they fall behind, and the same with Diana. But this is a more comfortable draft in my as I'm kind of looking at it forming. So I mean, of course, C Black has chance to win this, but I think the Koi showing game two was really convincing for me.
No, that's totally fair, and you're the guy that knows CU Boulder Black the best, so I take your word very seriously here. Bushman, the European accent also helps, but it's mostly your game knowledge based on playing with CU Boulder Gold and now being so involved with CU Boulder Black. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Like the Gnar is squishy, right? Like they don't really have a front line unless you go Mega. Yes, Lulu can keep you alive for a little bit, but Koi have so much damage. It's honestly kind of scary when you think about it, right? Like Gwen does true damage. Caitlyn headshots. Silas, if he hits the chains on you for just a second and hits you with any follow-up ulti, you're probably dead. You have the Talia flip after the Caitlyn trap, after the Nico root, after the Silas slow or even the stun, right? There's a lot of tools that can just instantly pick out a character and just explode them. Like if you're Diana, you're like, oh sweet, I get a lot of melee champions to jump into with the Silas and the Gwen, but there's the field of rocks. You jump into that, and you're cooked, right? You're stunned up, and then the rest of the team gets to fire upon you. So really happy to get your thoughts on that. Yeah, I think that's it from us. But we're gonna jump to a quick break. Everyone's still watching. We'll be back very soon with Game 3 of CU Boulder Black versus Koi Pond. Don't want to miss it, but Risen Esports will be back very shortly. What is up, everyone? We return with Risen Esports Season 16 Spring Unstoppable League. It's the quarterfinals between CU Boulder Black and Koi Pond. Kevin Dunk on the play-by-play. Bushman, our special guest caster, on color from the land of the Baus, Sweden, and our one and only Three Eyes keeping it down on production. But early game already, there's face checking. Local Library taking a big chunk on the Diana. Most of that threat of the volley misses, but look at Mako, gets the upscon of Duck, chunks out Rub, tries to trade back with the Fireball, does decent damage. So both, oh my god, and in the top side, they're fighting too. Everyone just wants blood in this game 3. They're feeling it. Bushman, how do we feel about these matchups so far?
These matchups, I think Gnar, if we're just going top to bot, I think Gnar should push out Gwen, especially level 1 being ranged into melee. Gwen doesn't really have any tools to get in range, and even then Gnar can easily extend past level 2. I am unsure about mid. I think that is a bit of a toss-up. It is his mages in the end that I have no real comment on, but I think the highlight is gonna have to be bot lane. I think that is where a lot of attention is gonna have to go for Koi, because that is really the lane that needs to win, and needs to win hard in order for them to really sort of close out this game in a fashion where Boulder doesn't just scale out of the roof.
Yeah, absolutely. As Anasui gets that level 2 prio now in the mid lane, JVI throws out that field of rocks as Bruv tries to trade back a little bit with the auto, but can't do it. Anasui actually taking a big chunk from the Zap and the Rockets. Somehow, some way, Sleep and Treeglader are actually trading up on the Caitlyn Nico, which is, I'm a bit surprised, to be completely honest with you, as Anasui already has to pop that first potion. They're trying to push hard, and it seems like they're eating a lot of punishment in return for that.
Yeah, it was a good sidestep there by Sleep of the Piltover Pacemaker. Did save them a lot of damage here. Question is, what do we do with this?
They still got
Diana Diana is pathing away, so there isn't really a reason to sort of try to keep the wave close to your tower. We do see that Silas is gonna have to path down, and Jigs Lulu is slow pushing into them. I'm a little bit scared of what's gonna happen in the next minute here when Silas finishes his clear. I really hope that Boulder Black is talking about this, where Silas can be, because that was something that really seemed to be missing from the previous game, where they didn't really know where Pantheon were and could ult from.
Treeglader walking up very aggressively, taking a big chunk from the Blooming Burst, and the heal invested by the bot lane of Koi. Sleep just standing and fighting. Treeglader did hold the heal, so that is a summoner forced out by the bot lane presence, but now JVI getting jumped on by Local Library. Severing Bolt does big damage, but I think JVI's gonna live. Mr. That Man's getting chunked out by the Boulder, but ultimately not really fearing, I think, the Gnar that much. And like you said, the pathing towards the bottom side, it's Local Library and Silas. Mako already making it to that first scuttle, but now, Grasping Maw hits. JVI gets it with the Fireball as well. Do they survive? They're on single-digit HP somehow. I think they got that seismic shove to disengage, and Bruv couldn't follow up. JVI, I think, was just an auto away from dying, and somehow they live. Mr. That Man's trading heavily with Mochia, though. The Snip Zip doing decent damage to the Gnar, who got just a bit close to the Gwen, and both sides are taking pretty aggressive trades, but the Gwen is down quite a bit of CS, and no more potions left for either side.
Yeah, important to note here that Gnar is ranged and does have the Fleet Footwork, so he should be able to just regain a lot of HP and still have control over the wave here.
Ooh.
Unless Gwen does the edge thing. No mana though here, and Gnar is approaching Mega. I think Silas is gonna walk up here for a gank. Can Gnar get that 6? I don't think he can. It is isn't until
away,
minute 5. Top laners get 6 on minute 5 here, so both top laners doesn't really have the XP enough here. I think Gnar should try to freeze this. He does have a jungle hover.
Ooh, okay, he's not gonna freeze it though.
He was turning Mega. I think he could. Bit of a... Because now Gwen just gets to get that reset. Now he's gonna turn Mega so he can crash that, but there's still a TP up for the Gwen, so I don't think that could have been something more for Boulder Black.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mr. That Man's getting that push help from Mako to crash the wave was good. Mako does show himself, though, so the bot lane is happy to hold the freeze here. Oh, JVI getting level 6 jumped on immediately by the Spiraling Despair of Bruv. Hui dealing so much damage with the combo. Severing Bolt, oh, hits as well. The Arcane Comet barely dodged. JVI is on a very, very slim amount of HP and forced out again from the lane. Bruv is just taking him down so far, and Bruv maybe could, okay, I was gonna say maybe get a Severing Bolt under turret, but not gonna look for it. JVI has to back off and is forced off losing. I think is gonna lose a wave here. So great place from Bruv to just blast away on JVI, hitting at level 6 immediately and just forcing them out.
Yeah, and question is, what do we do about this? Because Dragon was spawning, and I was thinking maybe we do something about this. Now Bruv is not gonna have ult, and Tali is gonna get that Weaver's Wall coming up real fast for this Dragon. It does look like Boulder Black is kind of recognizing that it is hard to approach this Dragon, while we do have this very, in relationship to Koi's bot lane, quite weak lineup. And so local libraries is trying to get something, but we see every camp is gone. So really just a dragon for nothing for Koi. And that is kind of what you expect with this Caitlyn Nico as well.
Oh, and this way walking up from the 90 caliber net, dealing decent damage. Ooh, Tangle Barbs. Bramble Tangle. That's what it's called now. But hits Sleep and he gets a zap back, but eats the Peacemaker. So Sleep actually on pretty low HP as now Anasui is confident to walk back up. Lydia looking for the Blooming Burst, doing a big chunk as well. Now we're seeing the Caitlyn Nico with that BF sword. Trading heavily. Oh, Sleep dodges the Tangle Barb, but it's going to eat. Oh, the headshot just barely not in range, but Tree Glider eats it instead. Oh, the flash forward from the Jinx, but now Barrier baits it out and Sleep eats the bullets, and it's just a beautiful team fight from Anasui in that 2v2 kill. Tree Glider invests the heal and the flash, but doesn't get his 80 carry out alive, and now in the top side, level 7, Mr. Thatman sends out the needlework and can't kill the Gnar, so no flashes using the top side, but Sleep, you saw the desperation in their eyes. They're like, I can get this kill, and they just get baited out by the barrier, by the heal, and it's gonna be Anasui just knocking him down with the headshot. Call it arcane, right? As Caitlyn's gonna win that fight against the Jinx, and Sleep goes back home in the gray screen. Now the Caitlyn Nico is starting to come online.
Yeah, Caitlyn wishes that was arcane. That was what happened.
She shot off her finger in season 2. Spoilers again for anybody who hasn't watched the show that's been out for a year and a half. But yeah, that was much worse than what happened in Arcane.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that kind of hints at that this is really how this lane is supposed to go. We have seen some good dodges by Sleep, but in the end, I think it just is so hard if this Caitlyn and Nico lane is playing how they're supposed to. And I do think they are. There is a lot of poke coming in, even sort of the first strike ruin kind of hints at how they plan to play this lane out, and I think they have done quite well for themselves. 10C scored lead could be a little bit higher, frankly, but that kill speaks a lot for how they are playing.
Mega Gnar in. Mr. Thatman's flashed away from the wall up. Mochia looking for the boulder toss, gets the slow as local library looks for the gank, but can't get anything else. Anasui and Lydia now poking under turret. This is the bot lane prio of the Caitlyn Nico we were talking about here. Bushman zap hits Anasui, but okay, they're actually choosing to chase. The net actually doesn't go off. It's the trap, and now we see here Lydia flash into the Pop Blossom. The Abscond of Duck hits as well as Sleep goes down again to the Caitlyn as we see Ace in the Hole activated. Not enough to kill the Lulu, but surely enough to push them off, and that is the gank. They knew the Gwen was in the top side from that top side gank, and Mako capitalizes it on it with that Abscond of Duck and instantly gets the kill onto Sleep, who is not having a great time on this Jinx.
Exactly. The bot lane, obviously Black, didn't really respect that this wasn't our time to push up.
Striking by the Crushing Maw. It's a dodge on the side mix-up, but Lydia's here with the Tangle Barbs and the Blooming Burst. Mako is making it here to play as Grub's taken so low, but the Diana is here. Moonfall is stolen, but Mako choosing to fight back. And oh my god, I think he got killed by the Super Mega Death Rocket. And Mochia getting that 1v1 in the top side. Kills him with the Mega Gnar into the wall up. It's a solo bolo in the top side, and in the mid lane, it's a bloodbath as JVI does go down, and they almost kill Bruv, who does manage to flash away and live that. So cross-map snipe from the side of Sleep. It is Arcane Season 1 as they get the snipe on the Talia.
Yeah, Arcane Season 1. Season 1 this time, not Season 2.
Yeah, Season 1.
But yeah, as we're saying, a lot of key kills actually coming down on the side of C Black. I really think this is what the team needed. There seemed to have been sort of, I'm in trouble describing it, some kind of Oh,
Oh, wait,
they're
Lydia
coming in here.
is in the wave. They didn't count the minion. Sleep's taken so low as the wild growth is activated, but it's not enough HP. Anasui doesn't have the flash, though, can't catch up. Glitter Lance is good enough slow to keep them away as a heal activated. Ace in the hole as well. It's blocked by Tree Glader, but look at the Blooming Burst. Does so much damage and just barely Sleep limps out of there. Talia starts making the roam. They have the Weavers. Well, will they go for this turret? I think the Jinx is going to recall in time. Yeah, I think the Jinx gets out in time, so it's just going to be plates farmed up a little bit as the Talia is just seen on the wave, and Hui's going to use that opportunity to push mid.
Yeah, this is in the trade, bit of a even trading gold. We do see the Grubs is gonna do some damage, so I don't think this is the most disastrous events outcome that can happen for Sea Black. But I do want to emphasize that both of these teams, we saw Sea Black got a good outcome, and that kind of spiraled from Nico not really having ult. So both of these teams kind of need to dial in and know when we have windows to fight, because at the same time we've seen both of the kills coming in on Jinx.
Oh wait, JDI caught by the Spiraling Despair, and it's just a kill from the side of Brub, who kills him with the Thunderbolt. The Severing Bolt severs in feet as JDI goes down for the second time. This Frub on Hui is absolutely killing it, just zoning out the Talia and making it so they have Perma Bryo, forcing that guy into gray screen, and that means they have Bryo for this Dragon. And I don't think Koipon can actually do a damn thing about it. So that second Dragon given over to CU Boulder Black off of a great solo bolo from the side of Bruv.
For sure, but look top lane here. It does look like Mochia needs to be aware. This is the only place where Nico can really make an impact. We died bot lane, enemy team got Dragon, and so now Nico can only ever be top lane. Nico is not showing bot. Mochia.
Yeah, he spots it out. He sniffs it out. The Gnar has a good nose as Mochia just gonna hit him with the boulder and walk away. And now the 2v1 in the bot side. Anasui still walking up, getting hit by the zap. I think they overplayed their hand, but now they're baiting for Mako as he walks in. Total Belt. Abscond Duck gets flashed away from. A flash away from the Lulu as well. It's a stolen ultimate with the hijack. Ultimately, 2 flashes burned for Anasui's health bar is decent. Now it just needs to be the repeat play from the side of Koi if they want to capitalize on that. But Mr. Thatmans is actually down 2 level and taking a huge chunk. Oh my god, Mochia is just absolutely battering him with the boomerang. And he's forced out of lane as the leap goes forward. Lydia looking for the mid lane though. Not gonna hit the tangle barbs. No follow-up play there. Mr. Thatman's getting absolutely crushed in the CS department and the health lead and the EXP.
Yeah, I think this is one of the more hard to play matchups for Gwen, where Gnar can easily. You need to extend yourself quite far in order to get these trades. Usually Gwen wants to QE forward, get a good auto attack in, and then just walk back. Gnar can easily extend these trades and just pepper the Gwen with damage. So Mochia really kind of abusing that he did get a quite favorable lane matchup, even though he is on blue side. But of course Gwen is gonna scale up and be a bit of a nuisance in the side lane, of course.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Bushman, but I think maybe the late game scaling will take too long because Mr. Thatman's getting absolutely walloped, pun intended, by Mochia in the lane right now. Like, they finally hit that roll quest. Mochia's got a full level on them. He can't really walk up, doesn't even have full item, so he's going to lose every trade, essentially. I think for Koipon, you know, they have some scaling options, but... Oh, wait. Look here, Lydia, get the flash off Blossom, gets a huge crowd control chain onto Sleep, who's taking so much damage. Flash forward from Anasui. Sleep doesn't have the flash to trade back. Polymorph is good. Super Mega Death Rocket hits. Do they have enough damage to kill the Jinx? Tree Glader invested the flash as well, but on the top side, it's a solo dive, and Sleep finally goes down, but he actually trades back a kill. Anasui goes down, and now getting chased down by Tree Glader as Diana is here in the mix. Bruv looking for JBI, hits the E, hits the Spiraling Despair, and it's just GG. Flash the emote, solo Bolo once again. Bruv is just dealing so much damage mentally and physically to the side of Koipon as it's another solo kill. Mochia now getting run down by Mako, but I don't know if he actually wins this. Okay, he finally does with the pressure side burst, but it looks like Mochia, if he had a bit more health, could have turned that. Ultimately, yes, you get something back on Mako, but on every side of the map, you're actually losing. Talia goes down, Gwen goes down, Caitlyn just trades her life, which is not good enough in that bot lane 2v2. And ultimately, Koipon they, I would say they have scaling advantage in some places, maybe less in others, but overall they are not getting what they need out of this Caitlyn Nico, who it's feeling they're starting to not fall behind, but they're not as effective. But Lydia's in the way. They didn't count the minions once again. Big damage. Local Library is here though, has the damage, and it's gonna run down the the Nico Caitlyn as Anasui gets dragged back in by the Moonfall. Mako looking for a play though, hits the Moonfall. Rough flashes away though, gets the fear. Upshot of Duck bumpers through it. Do they have enough damage? As Mr. Batman's TP's back in. The shields are good, but they're not good enough as Mako finally gets the kill with the help of Batman's. They are looking for Local Library with the snip, but Tree Glader, why don't they just kill him? He's giving so much shielding. With the bonus HP from that, Mr. Local Library is going to live. JVI now looking with that Unraveled Earth. Mochia, though, makes it to the play and just rips them apart. Sleep fires off the Mega Death Rocket for bonus points. And ultimately, the Tree Glader on Lulu somehow lives that illegally. And 3 members of the Koi Pond go down in that. I think it was 4, actually. Count 4. And it's just a nightmare for them as they're losing teamfight after teamfight. Now, Mr. Thatman's looking for Sleep. Needlework hits. Second part of it hits as well. Ace in the hole, not blocked by anything. It's the Needlework finally gets the kill on Sleep. But now, the Mega Gnar into the wall up. The jump over the wall. Local Library can't jump back in. And it's just going to be great from the side of Koi Pond. Good escape from Mr. Thatmans to secure the kill and get out cleanly. But still, they are at a 2.5k gold deficit. And the pressure has not kind of lifted on them yet. Bruv still extremely strong on this way. About to hit 2 items. Talia struggling at 0 and 4. You'd have to think Koi Pond are feeling it right now as Sea Boulder Black are just getting ever stronger for this mid game.
Yeah, I think Sea Boulder is gonna be elated that the early game has worked out the way it does. I really think, especially in mid, I think Brav looks like a completely different person here. Experiments are coming out. You can see Q goes in, so much damage. It doesn't really matter that you don't kill him. The chunk is so valuable here. We are gonna see a trade. I'm not sure if I love the trade, but we as in Sea Boulder are getting a lot of gold on the other side.
Oh wait, not counting the minions. Bruv gets caught by a 4-man play here. Do they have enough damage to kill him? Bruv trying to kite out, but I don't think they can get away from this. It's just going to be domination from this bot side, but on the upside of the map, Mochia farmed up 3 free plates and is just chunking out JVI. Look at the damage on this guy. JVI is trying to get away and can't. Rift Herald was taken by Local Library, and it's going to be used mid for a trade of the tier 2. So ultimately, yes, to give over the Dragon, but look at the gold deficit now. JVI now getting dove under turret, wall up into Mega Gnar, into the boulder. It's just a clean execution. Mochia slams down on them for the 5th death of JVI, who just cannot catch a break in this game.
For sure, and I think, my stream did just die a little bit, but as you're saying, I think there was a slight trade coming there. Dragon, there was really only one place that Koi could really have gone, so it is a bit of an unnecessary death for Brav, I will say, but at the same time, enemy has a Jinx and they're free hitting with a Herald. There's so much damage coming into Koi's towers, and there's so much gold just being funneled into this Jinx. If Observer could just press X and just bring up the gold graph so we can see like when we are approaching these things. Jinx being a little bit down, but I think that is normal just due to how this lane is gonna shake out. But look, top lane. 1,600 gold, that's so much, and I think this Gnar is going to be a real problem just because what can Gwen do if she can't side lane? I think Mr. Man That Mans.
Yep, Mr. That Man.
Sorry, Swedish and dyslexic coming in real hot.
Man.
I think that's going to be quite a struggle for Koi to really balance, especially when the rest of Sea Boulder is so strong as a ball with the Lulu, with the Jinx, with the Engage. It's gonna come in.
I think this is a bad spot for you. Glitterlance doesn't get hit as you see him dodge out with the portal belt, but he's getting chased down. Bruv doesn't get the slow, but gets the speed up. Now Spiraling Despair, Wild Growth self-cast on Mako. He's taking so much damage. Oh my god, the Severing Bolt with the rockets kills him. Lydia now trying to make a play on the top side, but misses the Tangle Barbs. Can Mr. That Man run down Mochia at a 3-level disadvantage? Pop Blossom activated, gets the knock up on the Gnar. Needlework as well. Mochia is solo HP, but he just managed to hop out, and surely this is a kill. But now Ace in the whole point blank gets the kill on Anasweet as Mochia finally goes down. But look at JBI, who's just suffering 6 deaths in this game, and Grub is just frying them on the way. We talked about how neither team has a front line, but that action goes both ways. There's nothing that can eat the Hui's damage as he's just exploding people, and it seems like there's no dive threat at all for the side of Koipon to get to Hui, and he like this guy, I don't know what Hui's lore is, but he's painting the bodies, painting the painting with their corpses, because holy moly, he's on 2 items, and it's just obliterating them in every team fight.
Yeah, for sure. I think Brav, I'm personally very happy to see Brav kind of bounce back from a bit of a middling and a performance. I want to highlight here, it doesn't look like Marco is going to go for anything, that Lydia did spend flash getting that kill on the Gnar, so Nico won't have that key summoner spell that really enables Koi to do these flash engages, being really reactive and but also proactive when it comes to team fighting. So I do really want C Black now to be very proactive, because there isn't really an angle for this Nico to do anything super aggressive if C Black is sieging, is having every angle warded. I think this Nico is gonna struggle.
They throw belt forward, but Mako can't actually find the abduct. And like you were saying, it's just so hard for this Nico to make plays without the flash. I think if she gets too close and doesn't immediately pop Blossom into the Proto Belt, she'll just die to the Hui Diana. They're looking for Mochi on the top side, but it's still a 2-level gap, and the Silas also only on 1.5 items. Mako has the stolen Gnar, gets the abscond, gets the abduct, doing big damage with the Mega. Mochia doesn't have Mega Gnar themselves, and they're taking so much damage from the Needlework, and surely that's a death. Koi, it's Mr. That Man's getting the kill, but now JBI getting the angle here. Oh, maybe not. I thought they had the seismic shove, but they don't have it. Fourth of follow-up on the route from the Nico, and now the Severing Bolts are raining down. Bruv, taken low, but not really being afraid at all, because there's no damage without Anasui. So yes, it is a kill back for the side of Koipon on the top side. I think likely a turret as well, but they're going to give over this dragon. I think this is a great play from them to just know they can actually win the 5v5, and it's just second dragon, right? They need the gold, and they're going to take it instead of, just suiciding at the dragon. So ultimately, like, yes, Koipon still have the pick potential, but it is so hard to fight if they don't get the instant burst on the Hui, and that's truly it. Like, can you get an angle on the Fed carries? If so, you might win, but there's practically 4 carries on CU Boulder Black, and you have to kill all of them at the same time.
For sure. I'm perhaps a little bit disappointed that CU Black didn't see that they did expand Silas ult. They did kind of overload a side. They did overload top lane. So I think potentially if you just put every member of CU Black on that bot lane wave and just hit, I think there isn't really an angle for Koi to do anything, and that could have been a tower for the Jinx, building towards that Infinity Edge that you desperately want to really be online in these later team fights. But of course, a dragon is fine. I just don't think that necessarily wins you the game when it is that even at this point. We are still looking at minimum, what is it, 32-minute soul potentially if one team gets it, and that's quite far off.
Yeah, that is a long time to wait, but I think that's a good thing, honestly, for the side of Koipon. Like, it's not great to give Hui and Jinx more time to scale, but Gwen and Caitlyn could use that time too as Needlework. First one misses. Mr. That Man's already burned the Hallowed Mist, but wow, dodges actually the Fear and the Spiraling Despair, so it's a trade of ultimates, and I think they're both just going to back off. Ultimately, unintended, it is just fine for both sides. But Gwen getting free time in the side lane is good, I think, for the side of Koipon. But letting Sleep on the Jinx get further and further farmed up to match up the Caitlyn is dangerous for sure for the side of Koipon. It seems like, I can't really say ticking time bomb for either side because both of them have such dangerous threats. Like Silas, once he gets 3 items and has the CDR, can like just run through teams if he lives long enough. Local library, like getting 3 items on the Diana would just be a one-shot on practically the entire enemy team because there's no front line. And, Jinx, Caitlyn, Arcane, both these champions are so good. Lydia actually gets the jump onto the Jinx. Do they have enough damage to kill Sleep? They do. Again, not counting the minions leads to their demise. And it's Koipon picking up a great kill on the mid lane for the side of Anasui. it's just the Jinx getting caught up by the Flash, Proto Belt, and the Pop Blossom, and it's a freebie for them. But that's a lot of tools used. Mako actually backing off. They don't want to get caught here. Tangle Barb is good. Bruv looking for the root. It actually hits Mako. Severing Bolt as well, but I don't think they can catch up. Mako, I guess, has some amount of CDR. Yes, or sorry, not CDR. Tenacity with the Merc Tread, so it's going to escape from that. But it's dangerous for both sides now. Koi Pond, a lot of ultimates down, and CU Boulder not having their AD carry. I can feel the tension in this game, Bushman.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just thinking this kill can't happen. I don't wanna be too hard, but I just don't think Jinx could ever stand this far up and not counting the minions. We also need to be aware that the Nico flash timer, when Nico can do things, I think C Black kinda gets off scot-free. Your AD carry dies on mid wave, and the enemy is not just we are
oh
standing.
My god, again. Oh, you're caster cursing him, Bushman.
Exactly. I just don't see how Jinx can die and Koi is not just we are standing on Baron, you are fighting us 4v5.
Oh, JVI though. Taking a lot of damage.
Mako
Mako
going in.
The gank happen. Still 3 levels down. Mochia getting ulted back, but not the stun. Mako taking a lot of damage from this Gnar. Anasui is here for the damage. Oh, it's enough. The crits are so big from this 3-item Caitlyn, and it's a 3-man play on the top side, isolating Mochia, who does try to go for the fight. I think they likely could have won that 2v1 because the Mega Gnar didn't get the stun, but it is the superhero making it to the play. The main character of Arcane Season 2, it's Anasui's Caitlyn just blasting him with the Gat. And in the end, like you said, it's just a freebie play for Koi Pond. I don't think CU Boulder Black will actually lose a lot off of that, to be honest. There's no objectives immediately up, but they are picking towards the Baron. I don't think they can rush this.
I am surprised that Koi haven't called for this before.
Oh, they're going for it.
They killed Jinx and they killed Gnar, but it takes so long. I mean, they are burning this, and Jinx is nowhere
look
near.
At the play damage. He could likely just walk up and blow them up with an ultimate. Oh my god, no! JVI walked into the eyeball, but now they have the pick on Diana. Super Mega Death Rocket kills Mako though, and Anasui's gonna die to the Baron! It's gonna be a double kill for this Jinx. Gets excited and just gonna rip through everybody. Local Library and Bruv just melt them with the double AP. The Bloodletter's first enhances this way, who paints them into the red. And Koi Pond were so low from the Baron, they just get absolutely executed. Anasui dies to the Baron, and this is what I was talking about. Hwei can just stand back and fire at you, and there's nothing you can do. That was a huge blunder from Koi Pond, and CU Boulder Black, they capitalize and get a freebie on that Baron.
This feels so illegal. That Koi gets good. They get 2 good picks, and they just pull Baron too late. Now, C Black is moving in, getting that soul point for themselves. It's hard to imagine Koi can do anything to stop this, as there is a Gnar just threatening. I don't think you need to really extend yourself if you are Mochida here. I think I would want everyone to reset at the same time now, so C Black could be on the same page. Gnar is kind of lingering, which I don't particularly like, but as be to finish this off, it is a little bit unlucky for MKoi that it is the I think it is the Hunting Baron. Oh.
Okay, Mochia actually getting a huge shield and just gonna try to run down Anasui, who's trading back. He's kiting, he dodges the last Thunderbolt, and oh my god, Mochia barely survives that. Ace in the hole, not ready. I think Gnar just barely made it out of vision, and the Lulu was there to body block, but very risky plays from both sides. I mean, the AD carry just goes 1v1 against the top laner, who walks into multiple Caitlyn traps and headshots. This Caitlyn can still fry, but like you said, it is very, very difficult for the rest of Koi Pond to do anything like this. I want to say the Silas and the Atelier are so far behind the pace of the game. Now Mako getting jumped on by Local Library. He throws out the stolen Silas ulti, but Sleep is here to fire the rocket, the flash into the Moonfall onto 2. Zanya's used, pop off from the backline. Mako pops his own Zanya's as Local Library in a 1v4 and goes down to the Caitlyn headshot. Mr. That Man jumps out with the Hallowed Mist, gets the Needleworks for the slow. Jump forward from Mochia, who's going to kill Lydia with the Boulder, but they have the lockdown on Mochia, and he's going to go down. It's a double for Anasui, who gets rocketed. He gets zapped. He takes almost the Thundering Bolt. Or sorry, the Severing Bolt, the Thunderbolt almost killing him, but he walks out just barely. And it's a Baron Bower play, question mark, for the side of CU Boulder Black, because they do get the bot lane tier 2, but they lose 2 members in the process. I thought surely Sleep Sleep in local library had the angle because of the two-man moonfall, but Silas managed to get the Zanyas just in time. Anistui actually dodges, I think, the damage or survives it somehow with the 90 caliber net, and they live. And it's just 2 lives given over for the side of Sea Boulder Black. Great Weaver's Wall separates the fight, and it's just Jinx cannot get in range for the kills. And they Koipon clawed back just a little bit. It's still not looking great for them, but surely it's anybody's game.
I'm gonna be a little harsh. This hurts me. By Sea Boulder Black,
You
you
can be
have
harsh.
Baron.
It's okay.
You have Baron, and you just opt for a TP play on mid, just hoping you stat check Caitlyn. That kind of wastes time, and then you go for a fight on the blue quadrant. Again, it just wastes time with this Baron, because now I think Baron has run out, and I mean, yeah, it is really a question mark. This Baron power play, it really didn't translate to anything. We could easily just power every lane possible, and then you siege, and then you take a more favorable fight. I think Sea Boulder Black gave Koi a way too easy, or way a bit of a get out of jail free card when this siege should be so devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Like, you have good siege tools, right? Like, you have the Jinx long range, you have the shields from Lulu to stop the counter poke from Anasui, you have Quay, who can just throw out whatever the hell he wants with the damage, right? And you can't really stop him from such a far range, and they choose not to do it, and they just go for the 5v5. But now Mr. That Man's caught by the Crushing Maw, takes some damage from that Fireball, and the passive, the Sigil of the Visionary, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's doing so much damage. It's a 3-item play. I think if he full combos at all, it's just lights out for Koipon. So they really have to prioritize this way, who doesn't have the Zanyas just yet. Like, both sides are so precarious. They have so much damage. But now, look, the Pop Blossom on a local library. He just eats the headshot. The Wild Growth is not enough to keep him alive. But now Mako getting rocketed down. Gets trapped by the Flame Choppers. Can't even get the Moonfall off. Now Mochia's running them down. Get excited is on the Jinx. Sleep just runs towards them and is running them down. Now Mr. That Man's looking for the 1v1 on Bruv. Gets it, but it's a triple kill. It's a quadro kill for Sleep, who goes completely psycho. He paints the town blue on the Jinx and blasts the entire team. It's only Mr. That Man's alive because they didn't walk up to Sleep and Shrieglader on the Lulu. Yes, you lose 3, but this Jinx Lulu is now completely uncontested and can just wreck the base. What a crazy team fight. Sleep kited it out so well. They used everything to kill the Diana, and they had nothing left for the Jinx, who just rips and tears through them. Oh, now Mr. That Man's walked into the trap, and oh no, that is a pentakill delayed for the side of Sleep Jinx. Don't sleep on this guy, because he is just wrecking entire bases and entire teams with the help of Shrieglader. What? I know you have the Hallowed Mist, but you can't do stuff like that, man. It runs out eventually. Steps on the trap, gives a delayed penta, and that must feel good for this Jinx.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, what could have been for this Koipon team. We saw it's not a bad angle for Lydia, but I think they tunnel vision. They go on local library when they could have just walked down slightly and also caught Sleep. Because what happens now is that I'm back. Is that
That was
the
me.
Jinx just gets. Oh, that was you. Okay, the Jinx just gets to free hit during this. When the engage goes into the front line, Jinx just has free reign, and you see what happens. Up and the kill happens.
That's a full 5 items.
Lydia has flash now.
GA as well, and it's being caught by the root. Rob just fully combos him, but now a 5-man Pop Blossom. Mako hits the ultimate as well. It's stolen back. Anaspi's now trying to fire on local library, who flashes out. They finally get the kill on the Nico. Mochia gets a 3-man Mega Gnar, but now the Hextech Soul is taken by the side of Sea Boulder Black as Mr. That Man gets shredded apart. JBI and Anaspi take one back, but Sleep, another Penta maybe? I don't think it was a Penta, but surely it doesn't matter, because this guy gets a triple-double. Call it Burger King, and he runs them down. The ace for the side of Sea Boulder Black. Mochia TPs into the base. It was a wombo combo on both sides, but CU Boulder Black, they have the bigger wallets, they have the bigger circles, and that means they're going to have the bigger team fight, and that means they win game 2 in an explosive ending. They secure Soul, and they secure the fight afterwards. No flexing needed. It's just going to be Koipon going down, getting frozen over by the side of CU Boulder Black. The buffs, they slam back hard, and it's going to be match point for them by the end. What a crazy last couple of minutes there, Bushman. What a game.
For sure. Really fun for me personally, as a bit of an outsider to reason to be able to see that they bounce back from this, because I do have to say game two looked nothing like game three. And then on the flip side, bit of a tragedy for Lydia, I want to say. They found so many good engages, but sometimes they weren't enough. Gold weren't enough. There weren't enough damage, and especially on this final fight, I think if the teams were even, and if the zoning side of Sea Boulder Black didn't do as good of a job, I think that could have been really scary, but it wasn't, and they claim it in quite a dominant fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, by a certain point in the game, right? I think that fight near the Baron really sealed the fate of Koi. Like, yes, they found some fights afterwards, but JVI was just so far behind the pace of the game, not even finishing his third item in this pretty, I'd say, long game. And Bravo and Hui, like it felt like they had this overwhelming pressure. I mean, I don't know if there's any anime fans out there, but that guy had some spiritual pressure. Like he just walked up, threw out his abilities, and somehow like Koipon would walk into them and just die. Like it was some next level like mind control by this dude, and then it just enabled Sleep to get long enough into the game to fry everyone. Local Library, took some pretty bad fights later, but it didn't matter because you have a Jinx on 5 items. It doesn't really matter at that point what you do as long as you're surviving long enough for Jinx to get that first reset. So, um, great game I think from both sides. Unfortunately, not the play from JVI that we saw from game two. Which is a bit unfortunate, but maybe they'll claw it back. We saw Brub have a pretty weak game too and bounce back this one. So it could be a 5 game banger if they run it back. So yeah, I'm excited to see what both these teams have in store after seeing that. Any final thoughts here, Bushman, before we jump to a quick break, as I'm sure our viewers are fiending for a little break now.
I think for Koi, we have shown in this kind of in this series that they do go band for band. Sivola won the first, Koi won the second, Sivola won the third. So by that, surely in my gambler's mind, that means that Koi wins the next game and CU Black wins the entire thing, or maybe they upset the odds. Who is to say? But I do think that Koi do have it in them to kind of make a comeback here.
Yeah, totally fair argument to make. I guess final words before we jump to a quick break is that I really want to see Mako and JVI like connect more. It felt like they were quite disconnected in that game three compared to game two, where they were just like working hand in hand to make plays happen. Get JVI on something that can make those proactive plays. Maybe weren't super comfortable in the league. I'm not too sure, but get Mako on a ganking jungler, and I'm sure good things will happen. So Koi Pond looking to hopefully claw back in that game four. And see you Boulder Black looking to get the blackout and hopefully go for that 3-1 score in the next game. But with that, everyone still watching, again, appreciate you for joining us. I really appreciate Bushman for joining us again, from the land of CU Boulder themselves. Appreciate you being here as an emergency sub on the color. But for everyone else, it's been Kevin Doug and Three Eyes on Production. Again, shout out to how they've been holding it down. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll be back shortly after this quick break for game four of CU Boulder Black versus Koi Pond. Hello, everyone. We return with Risen Esports Unstoppable League Spring Season 16, baby, as we jump into our quarterfinals. Highlighted match on stream. It's CU Boulder Black against Koi Pond. Both these teams throwing punches in this series as CU Boulder Black are up 2-1 after winning a pretty I wouldn't say dominating for the whole game, but man, those late game team fights were so one sided for CU Boulder Black. Koi Pond really didn't have a chance. These fish are getting shot like a fish in a barrel. But it's Kevin Dunk, your play by play host. A little bit tired from how much team fighting was on last game, but joined by the wonderful special guest Bushman from Sweden, caster for the Tier 3 league there. Wonderful guest. Really happy to have you. And we're backed up by Three Eyes on production. And we're going to jump, I think, straight into the draft here. Yeah, Bushman, how are we feeling in this series so far after joining us in game 2 and onwards?
I'm just happy to be here. It's really fun to be back. Of course, I'm not casting anything back home, and so getting this bit of a taste test before coming back, and I think it's delivering. I think this is a fun series. Maybe it's less fun for your throat specifically, but with all the play-by-play you're having to do. But I do think these teams feel quite evenly matched. There are there are mistakes happening, but they are also there are throws and counter throws, and some people are not really capitalizing the way maybe I would want it to be. But I think that makes this specific matchup more exciting because it just feels anyone can really win when we're going into this game 4.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. It has been rough a little bit, but I am having just as much fun as you are here, Bushman, and happy to have a legend from the Sweden, side of League of Legends, as like you said, getting a taste of casting, and I'm sure you're happy to join us from cheering for your sister team at CU Boulder. But with that, I think we're still waiting for a couple players to get into the draft. Yeah,
Legend might
any
be
thoughts on oh,
Legend
sorry,
might
no,
be
go ahead.
overstating. Legend might be overstating a little bit, but thank you anyway.
Okay, yes, we're getting people ready back in. I think the draft is getting back up, but no, I'm sure. I mean, I'm just a guy who casts in fun leagues. I don't really know what goes on there in Sweden, but I'm sure you're a very well respected and wonderful caster there. I don't even know. I assume you cast in Swedish, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make any assumptions.
That is its own challenge. I'll just speak a little bit to that before people come in. They did say R in draft, but I'll say it anyway. Just because this is, of course, an English game, and the game is in English and everything. So we do use loan words a lot, but we have been told by sort of this casting coach we have to not overly rely on them, and so sometimes you just catch yourself saying the most outrageous things where you just like you take these kinds of uh, words that exist in sort of the league language language of itself, but then you try to like directly translate it and it sounds like complete garbage. So I do actually enjoy casting in English a little bit more because it just feels more native to the game in a way.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I'm English, I guess, first and second language, so it kind of carries over. But tell your casting coach to hit me up because I have too many profanity words that I want to say and I have to hold myself back from, and it turns into me saying something completely wrong. But with that, enough speaking on our casting history. But I'm really happy to hear about that from you, Bushman. It's always great to have like a special guest talk about what they do. And we're gonna jump into the draft. We're seeing a couple picks here from Koi and CU Boulder Black. Oriana Zinjao from Koi and the Rumble. Ooh, we get a spicy combo, but I don't think there's actually a lot of setup for it. Zinjao, I think, much less setup than the Jarvan, and Seal Boulder Black, having good engage with the Jarvan. The Corki is like a strong laner, and we've seen, excuse me, Sleep, if they get through that early game, they just dominate the late game team fights. And I'm just a bit worried for the side of Seal Boulder Black. They have a ton of damage, but again, no real front line, no real setup. It's going to be the Aatrox answering, I believe, this Koi Rumble top side. Any thoughts here, Bushman? I'll let you talk a little bit. I'm
I
stealing your thunder. But Aatrox can be both in the jungle and in the top lane, so happy to hear your thoughts in the first round of draft.
think he's mostly going top lane. I think what I want to sort of illuminate is this Oriana pick coming in from Koi. It is a really good blind pick. It's usually paired with the Jarvan, and I know that because that's what our coach really like forced us to draft. And of course, it is the same person. Shoutouts to Will. And so he just kind of recognizes that if you remove the Jarvan from the Oriana combo, Jarvan can still play. Jarvan can still gank mid lane, no problem. But Oriana kind of loses that ball carrier. So I really like that snipe that Boulder Black did. And then for the top side, I'll be short. I think Rumble for sure, if the Rumble is very proficient, can be quite a problem with the shield because the shield denies the healing for Aatrox. But I think Mochia is quite comfortable on the pick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wax on poetic too long, but we are seeing some of the bans targeted at the bot lane here for against Koi. I think the ban of the Tristana Seraphine are good. These are kind of like I wouldn't say like exactly lane bullies, but Seraphine is super annoying to deal with if you're a low mobility AD carry, and Tristana, can play extremely aggressive if you find the angles for it. But Asol and Swain being banned away from CU Boulder Black, excuse me, I think is targeted at the mid. And we saw Bruv just fry on some of these control mages before, so I think that's a good targeted ban. Give JVI, or sorry, I have the sides. No, I have the sides right. Yeah, JVI on the Oriana, right, is something that you definitely want to have more security around because yeah, last game it felt like they couldn't really do much.
Yeah, I I do want to kind of speak a little bit towards because we are in a bit of a unique position, at least for me, being a game four fearless. A lot of our recent games and even like our local LAN games have been best of three. And so I think this is a first, not only for CU Black but also for our coach drafting this far deep into some champ pools. I think that's why we see the brown blind pick. For example, I think some people might be running out of picks, and that is going to be very interesting going into this game four and then potentially game five. So that is something to sort of further think about.
Yeah, game 4 is where fearless really starts to have its effect on people. And okay, Twisted Fate being locked in here. I don't know how you feel about this. I'll give my quick 2 cents on this here, Bushman, but I feel like Twisted Fate is a champion that really effective if you have damage outside of that lane, right? I think Twisted Fate is not that solo carry champion. You are playing around your lanes. And if I'm CU Boulder Black, I'm sending that TF ulti top lane every single chance I get to gank the Rumble and get Mochia ahead because we've seen what they can do with a lead. And if I'm Koi, I'm like, brother, I need to smash this TF lane because Oriana should be blasting him with the autos, with the trades. And it's really up to JVI to pressure Bruv in a way I don't think we've seen before in lane to really make sure that Twisted Fate can't be effective on the roam. So happy to hear your thoughts now that the team comps are fully rounded out. But if I'm if I'm Koi, I'm worried about the macro because we're really hoping for a good team fight and see Boulder Black just have great playmaking tools with the J4, with the Braum, with the TF. If you lose the early game, your mid game is going to be rough.
I agree. I agree with your point that you would probably want some damage coming out from this Twisted Fate. This Twist, Bruv is the solo AP, and though I don't think Koi necessarily is gonna like overly stack resistances on anyone, really, that is still something that you kind of need to take in account. I am a little bit scared that there might be a lack of damage for C Black, where you have the Jarvan and the Twisted Fate. I think I would personally want there to be like either Jarvan and a control mage like a Syndra. They can just like maybe Syndra's taken away. It's very possible. Um, where Jarvan sets up a control mage or where Twisted Fate sets up a really aggressive jungler. Of course, Jarvan can go this lethality route, but that's of course a little bit more volatile. So I do kind of, I think I mirror your sentiment where there's a lot of kind of hopes resting that C Black can kind of pull together and show us a new side of them where they are quite clean on their decision making.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. I like Jarvan when he gets a pairing that is like, hey, I need someone to set up for me with the damage. Twisted Fate's kind of like, I will gold card for you. I will throw my cards, and it's up to the Jarvan to just kind of bonk him with the spear. Um, yeah, I really think that Koi really the game two success was off of the mid jungle prio and making plays around the map. I really want to see Mako on the Xin just fight like a madman and know that your early game topside 2v2 is just way better than the opponents, right? Like I think Aatrox doesn't really win against Rumble until level 9 or so. Rumble is just disgustingly OP. I hate this champion, but he's fun to watch. And Twisted Fate, like yes, you get a guaranteed gold card, but guaranteed gold card I don't think saves you from Zinjad jumping on your head and just getting to extended fights because Twisted Fate doesn't have the burst to force Xinjiao out. Neither does Jarvan. I think Xinjiao is built to take extended fights against these champions, and with the help of Oriana, who in theory should have the push against the TF, at least after the first couple levels, it's I just want to see Koi Pawn if they want to win game four, they're gonna have to play around that because yeah, a rumble from behind is not a good boy. But yeah, I think that's all the thoughts from me. I think because CU Black have a pretty solid team comp. They're sticking to their guns. Peel support, control mage mid, a bit more of a setup play, but bruiser jungle and standard AD carry with sleep, being able to fry on the Corki. Happy to hear your final thoughts here, Bushman, before we jump to a break.
I think I mostly agree. I guess I just want to add that Sinsao, that there is a lot of carriers for this ball. There is Sinsao and Rakan, and I think those two also pair quite well, where Rakan really enhances the engage that Sinsao can pull off. So I think that is something that C Black needs to kind of keep an eye out. They have a bad track record in getting caught by sort of, according to me, quite obvious engages or quite telegraphed
Hmm.
engages. So that is a scary hurdle that they are gonna have to overcome. I think the Braum is a big question mark as well because he isn't really, especially in the lane. Rakan is kind of infamous for being quite a good counter to Braum. So I'm unsure how that's gonna kind of translate because Braum does do well into like the melees, but there aren't too many of them on Koi. So that is a problem that I would like C Black to sort of solve in this game.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing those insights. I'm sure you're a lot more accurate on the color cast than I am here, Bushman. So appreciate you giving your analysis. And with that, I think we're gonna jump to a quick break. So everyone's still watching, yeah, get active in the chat. Throw out your wild predictions. Will we see a game five Silver Scrapes, or will CU Boulder Black just shut the door on them? We're gonna have to see. But we'll be back soon after this break for game four of Koi Pond versus CU Boulder Black. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you very soon. Hello, everybody. We are back to live. It is me, Kevin Dunk, your play-by-play caster for Risen Esports Unstoppable. On Saturdays, it's the quarterfinals, joined by the one and only Bushman from the Swedish League of Legends scene, now actively participating in the Risen scene, I guess, as a player, as a coach, as a caster now, as we're in game 4, match point for CU Boulder Black against Koi Pond. Thank you again to Three Eyes for on production, but yeah, happy to be here with you, Bushman, to cast possibly our final game, but possibly not, as yeah, Koi Pond are looking to swim back up to shore and take down CU Boulder Black for a chance at game 5.
Yeah, and let's hope for Koi's sake that we do go to this game 5. I mean, the odds are a little bit in their favor if you are a bit of a gambling brain. Not like me, but in general. Where they did win game 2, lost game 3, and also by that nature they should win game 4. We do have some concussive blows coming in here on the Caitlyn,
Early
though, good
trade,
damage.
he pretty much got the full channel of the Gatling, and he doesn't actually get hit with the last plasma stack, so the minions are firing back on Tree Glader, so it's a bit of an inner trade, but ooh, another double grand entrance hits as Sleep's trying to fire back with the Gatling once again. You stand in that for too long, and you are going to take a ton of damage, but level 2 Cryo being pushed here by the side of Koi, who hit level 2 immediately. Gleaming Quill whiffs, but they have the Cryo, and they push back. I mean, the bot lane's already scrapping heavily.
Yeah, you can already see that this really isn't the best matchup for Tree Glader on that Brom. As you commented, Kai'Sa didn't even get the plasma proc, and they still kind of almost won that trade. And then they got the prior, got the level 2 Brom going in quite deep here. So this really isn't as favorable of a matchup. Is champion to champion for the side of CU Boulder Black.
Yeah, the trades go in favor of the Kai'Sa, who, like you said, didn't even get the plasma. Bruv and JVI scrapping here. I mean, pretty even. I think JVI at level 3 should be winning these trades now. I think if Lydia hits the Gleaming Quill for the sustain, it'd be good. And in the top side, Mochia losing a little bit in the health department, but able to heal back up with the potions and the D shield. It's quite good for Mr. Thatmans, though, as he's going to try to run down Mochia. Misses the first Electro Harpoon, hits the second, but overheats. Can they get the damage in? I don't think they can. Brav actually trading back quite heavily against JVI, but pretty low on mana.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit about on this top lane matchup. We see how kind of Rumble slanted it is in the early levels. Rumble already are quite a strong top laner, but we see here that Rumble just has this shield and which really just hampers the healing of Aatrox, which really is one of his strengths, getting those winning trades. He really can't get those in this lane, and therefore he is falling behind quite a bit in HP.
Oh, we see here, gank early. We see Mako run into local library, misses the wind, becomes laning, and JVI is not actually hitting back, so Mako's getting chunked out. Bruv hitting him with the autos, with the stack deck, and the Dragon Strikes, dealing decent damage, so JVI just can't really walk up, had no mana, and Mako whiffing that key ability means that, yeah, Bruv and local library actually winning out on that 2v2.
Yeah, was that original I saw? The red card.
Yeah, possibly. I
think.
did not see it super close.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be. Oh, doesn't really get the pullback there, but you still see Rumble just has so much effective HP in this matchup compared to the Aatrox. No ignite though on the Rumble. I think there could have already been a solo kill if Rumble went a more aggressive setup.
Yeah, Mr.
Doesn't
Thatmans
really
isn't
go
actually
that.
getting. Excuse me, sorry. I was
No,
just
go
saying
ahead.
that he's not actually getting the overheat with the flame spitter at the same time. So Mochi, I think, is in a great spot. He's actually winning in CS too.
Yeah. Again, Mr. Thatmans taking trades when the wave is coming into him, when he doesn't really have the ignite. Not really what I would like him to do, because now when he's down in HP, the Aatrox suddenly becomes a lot more scary. Even takes the Q3. But yeah.
Oh, Lydia
Rumble.
here. Grand entrance whiffs. JVI looking for some decent damage with the dissonance. Just with the tier, though, not actually dealing a ton of damage. Oh, we see Mochia getting face checked, and Mr. Thatmans actually has to flash away. Like you said, this was really bad for the Rumble. Down the flash, eating too much poke from like the Q3 circles. And Mochia just has domination over this lane. Equalizer, Pod, World Ender used as well. Trying to chase down Mr. Thatman's. Q2 hits. Flash Q3 into the auto. Oh, barely lives. Mr. Thatman's is one lucky duck as it's just single-digit HP, keeping him from the gray screen. So Mochia does burn the flash and can't get much out of it.
I was just gonna comment on that. It is 5 minutes, so these top laners will hit level 6 any moment. It kind of looked like both of the players kind of hit 6 and was surprised by it. It didn't really look like any of them was really thinking of his going in.
Love gates forward, the Rakan's locked up. There's the auto for the stun with the concussive blows, and Lydia flashes away, gets the battle dance, but local library flashes to follow, and now Xinjiao is finally here to the play. Same with JVI, has the shockwave. Is there an angle for it though? Flash away from the gold card. JVI needs to make a big play here as Braum gets jumped on. A huge shockwave on a 2. They're taking the Braum so low, but the focus is split. Local library flag and drags through. Mako taking so much damage from the Corki and goes down. Braum goes down to the plasma stacks, and now in a 2v1 is Sleep as he gets the flash away. Anasui fully stacked on Loyal Temple, and Shirley gonna get the kill with the plasma. Great plays from Anasui, again turning around the team fight. JVI with the shockwave onto 2. I thought it could have caught a third person, but Mako just wasn't close enough. And in the end, it is a 3 for 2 for the side of Koipon. Most importantly, 2 kills went over to the Kaisa, and only the jungler and support died. So I think that's very big for the side of Koipon to get Anasui ahead. We've seen what this guy can do when ahead on the carries. But yeah, great fight, and Dragon taking my nobody.
Yeah, for sure. Really a pivotal shockwave that's coming in here for Koi. I think that looked really scary. Rakan got caught. We used a lot on him though. That really allowed the Koi to sort of bounce back, get that dragon. Again, kind of showing they're putting their feet forward in this matchup, taking a more proactive role, even though it might look kind of sketchy. Big later going in doesn't really do too much here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it does feel like this Koi Point lineup has had a really good lock on these first dragons. I'm actually really impressed by how they are playing these first minutes, because that's something that we on the main team, and I would then assume even the varsity team, have really been trying to kind of lock down. Let's see, a dive is coming in on this rumble. Can he ult the wave potentially?
Oh, he overheats though. Can Mochia push this in fast enough? Mr. Thatman's has it back up.
Wave.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll spot it. Gets the late shock blast. Oh, sorry, the electroshock harpoon doesn't have flash though. Gets flag and drag into the cataclysm. There's not even time to clear the way with the ultimate. The missing pings were called, so it was not exactly spotted up, but there was like the suspicion was there. And Mr. Thatman's just doesn't respect it. Just gets dove at low HP, and JVI can't actually push up the wave fast enough to make anything off of that. So it is an unfortunate dive onto the side of Koi.
It is a little bit unfortunate here. It did feel like Koi could have had that telegraphed. JVI, as you said, didn't really lane against anyone. Valkyrie's back, good damage coming into Lydia.
Taking a lot of damage, Treeblader eating the plasma, but Anasui gets knocked with that concussive blows and taking so much damage. The rocket barrage as well. Killer Instinct invested, the big one goes wide. So Anasui and Sleep are actually just throwing so much damage in the Braum. They don't have anything to fight back against Sleep. Oh, wait, we see the knockup. Maiko is here. Wind becomes lightning, hits. Treeglader goes down, and now the dive in. But the quickness just hits just in time as Sleep, oh wow, actually trades back. Anasui got too close, tried to secure the kill, and dies to the Foss Bomb from the post-mortem Nen. That's an anime reference for those of you who don't know. But Sleep does go down, but trades back a kill. Anasui picks up 1, though. I think it's just the gold difference, right? That bonus gold that you invested in that, later game item means that Anasui and Lydia actually lose the 2v2 and have to get Mako to bail them out, but great gank from Mako secures the Sundreds guy off that gank.
Yeah, really clutch there for Sleep getting that kill back, because what that does is that it stops Ansui for getting the crash, getting a plate, and then really denying the CS for Sleep. So they are essentially even. We do see concussive blows coming in here from Lydia. Doesn't really get this done. Mako doing a lot of damage here.
Mako jumping onto the backline. Brub gets hit with the spear. The stun locked on top of the concussive blows. Brub has to flash away. Wind becomes lightning hits. The flag and drag is good. The shockwave keeps Lydia alive a little bit longer, but now the ultimate thrown out by the Rumble. The equalizer takes 1 down. Local library taken low, but doesn't die yet. But now Mochi is tearing up the fight. Gets the first kill with the World Ender. Now JVI and Mako are trying to fight this in a 2v2. Treeglader is blocking a lot of damage, but Mako with the full item is just running through them with the spear. JVI kiting this out. dodges the last auto for the stun and kill Treeglader with that fadeaway Q. And now Mochia fighting this without the ultimate. Kimeko is just unkillable, and this is exactly what I talked about, that Xin Zhao loves being in those extended fights, and after fully stacking the Conqueror, getting multiple rounds of healing from the Sundered Sky makes all the difference, as JVI can kite away long enough for the Xin Zhao to kill them all, as it's a great fight for the top side of Koi Pond. I think it's a 3 for 2, and they get control of the Grubs if they want it, but they're just going to take the Scuttler, and it looks like local library's looking for it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Teleports in.
Wait, he Reginalded it. It's a blue card.
Oh my god. Is Reginald the blue or red?
I think it's just anything but a gold card.
Okay, okay. I've heard the Reggie red card. That's like in
Wait, NSB looking very close for Sleep, who takes a lot of damage. Treeglader finally makes it to the play, but the Gatling is doing so much. Oh, Glacial Fisher goes completely wide, so it's just a trade of ulti for nothing. Oh, actually, Lydia burned the heal for that. Oh, Quickness goes in. Sleep gets away with the Valkyrie. Tries to trade back, but it's a big chunk onto the Braum. NSB is very healthy. Sleep and Treeglader about half HP after that fight.
Yeah, that's what we call a goal in soccer, like with the Braum are. A little bit unlucky that that doesn't connect. A lot of damage coming in for Sleep here. I do think if you are the bot lane for Sea Black in this position, you need to kind of recognize that this Corki needs Triforce to be able to do what the damage they would expect him to be able to dish out and really contest this Kai'Sa, especially as Kai'Sa is going to be first on this wave. Doesn't really matter, as there isn't really a dragon to look for. Pocket Library is also in the top lane, so I think that is where we're going to have to watch again. Mr. Dapman's ults the wave. I think this is what I would have wanted him to do when we saw that dive coming in. They spot the Jarvan, they ult the top wave to be able to get by themselves that bit of tempo in order to then get a reset off.
Yeah, not much to add, but it is the side of Koi Pond getting prio on this dragon after seeing local library in the top side. Just want to shout out Mochia, whose landing has been immaculate in this matchup that should be, you know, pretty much losing for them in the early game. Mr. That Man has been kind of shut out. Oh, ultimate pops, World Ender, Q2 hits for the knockup, but I think it's just a trade of ulti for the prio. As Lydia walks a bit close, it is second dragon secured for the side of Koi Pond, as Lydia has to dash away. It's just, yeah, the Aatrox is very, you know, up almost 3 waves of CS and winning actually in the 1v1 quite heavily. So, and it should be a counter matchup against the, you know, should be losing to the Rumble. So it just shows you how much comfortability he has in this top lane matchup, that he's not pretty much going down at all.
For sure. When an Aatrox matchup tilts, it tilts hard. Because then it becomes like Aatrox doesn't just only do more damage than you, he also heals based on the damage he deals. So he also doesn't really take damage, which can become quite frustrating. And Moke now has finished the Spirit Shojin. That's just gonna amplify the damage he does with his Q, which that is scary if you are Mr. Dapmans. Now, Dragon did go over gold card now. Does hit.
JVI locked up by the Cataclysm, but the quickness is here. Shockwave only hits 1 though. JVI looking for the damage. Gets the heal, but it's not enough. Just goes down instantly. Mako is a bit too late to the play. Can they get the follow-up? Wind becomes lightning, gets the slow. The knockup gets flashed away from local library, but the Q3, oh, barely just doesn't hit. Mako couldn't get the last auto in, and it feels like Mako should have been there. He was on his red buff, and JVI pretty much dies for nothing. It's just a clean play by CU Boulder Black with no punchback from Koi Pond.
Yeah, for sure. It is a goal. It is a good kind of angle for Braum to recognize and go in. Also, good follow-up by a local library, being sort of aware that Braum is looking for this. I think that was something that I kind of lacked in, especially game 2, where it just felt like people were engaging kind of willy-nilly. But now it feels more intentional. Mens having the boom speed, getting out of the pull for the Aatrox. We are entering a bit of a lull period here, as Dragon is still 3 minutes away. There isn't really anything to playoffs and play towards. And
oh wait, Mako flash, wind becomes lightning. Will just gank the flash away from the Aatrox, but he's on top of the equalizer, and one more spear gets him, as it's going to be wind becomes lightning and a flame spitter, turning that into the last scene from Naruto. You know, they got that Rasen Shuriken with that fireball, but Mochia goes down to the duo. Mako making a great play on the top side, knowing that they had the timer for that. Bails out Mr. That Man's just a little bit, but now the gate in the top side. Can the Rumble get away? No, he's recalling in the bush, and Local Library is here to punish with the help of Bruv, who just locks him down with the gold card flash away from Mr. That Man, but I think he is not getting far away enough. The Dragon Strike, gold card not even needed, and it's, again, Bruv and Local Library seem to be playing the map so well, and it seems like after Mako makes a good play, they're always there to match it. But now we see the Rakan is here, takes a bit of damage from the Jarvan. Flag and Drag goes completely wide. Anisway is here for the fight, though.
Cataclysm is up here, so it looks like we are entering a standoff for this Herald. I'm not sure if you really want to take that. Look at the items for Sleep. He is inching towards this Muramana. I think that is what C Black really needs to play towards. We're getting a teleport here. They are collapsing on Mochia. Can he buy time here?
Yeah, Mochi actually dashed a bit too far in, and they're actually tanking up the turret because they hit the Q1, and it's going to go over to Mako, who invests the Crescent Guard just to execute him. So it is, again, a repeat play on the top side because Mochia didn't have the flash, didn't have the World Ender from earlier. Okay, no equalizer to jump on top of Sleep's Corki, but yeah, in the end, great play from Mako. Like, once again, knowing that the Aatrox is pushing up too far, secure another kill on them. And Koi Ponder is going to secure this Rift Herald after that play.
It really does feel like C Black has this pattern of overextending on the side of the map where it is really feasible that the enemy can be playing towards. And just look bot lane, no one has really been catching that. Sleep, I don't think you can hit this. Someone is losing this bot wave, which I don't love. I feel like we're being a little bit inefficient where we're really squeezing on the map and being aware of what we are gonna play towards. Sleep is pushing this in, really wants that Muramana, but again, I think that is something that we kind of need to look towards. Where is C Black on the map? Are they extending on the correct side? Because I think that can be something that really makes them fall in the later game.
Yeah, they're looking for an angle here. Dragon up in about 20 seconds, so the setup is here by Local Library and Shrieglader. At this point, I mean, everyone's pretty even on items. Everyone's at 1 or 1.5. The Muramana not yet available on the Corki, but the Rift Herald used mid. I'm not sure I like this play, but it does give them enough prio to clear out the vision. Mako gets some plate money, and they're contesting over this mid wave. I'm a bit worried because, okay, the TP invested.
Coming in.
Yeah, teleport's coming in, but Brav backing, and I think is going to gate in with the ultimate.
Everyone has their ultimates up. This is going to be a full frontal team fight, I think. Look at Local Library and look at the ball carry in this fight. Equalizer coming in.
Oh, wait, Equalizer on. They get the charm onto the Rumble. Corki, who instantly goes down to the Killer Instinct. Now in the backline, the Cataclysm hits. Bruv is doing so much damage to Anisway, who has to flash away. Now in the backline, JVI is trying to take down the carries, but he's not doing a good enough job. Now JVI gets flash gold card. Mr. That Man trying to fight back. Mako fighting into Mochia, who's just dealing so much damage. Lydia gets the last knockup. Actually dodges the last auto for a stun. Limba complaining, doesn't hit the Aatrox though. This fucking Sinjao is frying. I'm so sorry for swearing, but he just absolutely is killing everyone. He is just not lore accurate because this guy's not dying at all. Mako's full HP after just farming them for health as Brav now looking for this gold card. Lydia just barely dashed away with the amount of mana he has. Holy moly, this whole fight I was focused on JVI, on Anasy, on Sleep. I was focused on the wrong damn guy, and I'm so sorry for the profanity. But man, Mako literally untouched, and that shows you how strong Jinzhao can be in those long fights. With those kills, he gets a full Black Cleaver. Sure, he's just matching Local Library, but in the long fight, I'm much taking the Jinzhao because he absolutely carried there, and that's third Dragon. That's Dragon's soul point for the side of Koi Pond. Wow, Risen, don't ban me for swearing, but damn, that was one hell of a team fight from Mako. I think it deserved one.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wait, locked up. Oh my god, this is a huge lockup on the Rakan, who's barely alive. Shockwave on it too. Do they have the damage? They do. Taken low, though, is the side of CU Boulder Black. JVI looking for more damage. Sleep is chunked so low. Hannes, we can't follow up with the Killer Instinct. Sleep is gonna Valk away. They're looking for this turret. I don't know if they can actually take it, the Jarvan. Okay, they do. Jarvan now flag and drag. Doesn't have the Cataclysm up just yet. And is just gonna kind of pop up like Freddy Fazbear and walk away. But I guess it's the mid lane turret traded for the support. I guess it's worth for both sides. You can look at it as worth.
Yeah, you look at this, a kill goes over, Lydia dies, but in the grand scheme of it, the damage you deal to Sleep matters so much more than the kill on the support, and you see it play out. Even though Koi go down a person, they can still push their lead and take that turret, funnel that gold onto Kai'Sa. And I think it's gonna matter so much when Kai'Sa goes online compared to this Corki, because we see these fights do devolve quite fast into slugfests, and at that point, having the better damage per second, I think is gonna matter a lot.
Yeah, absolutely here. I'm going to pass it over to you shortly here, Bushman, but just thinking about the DPS, like, if CU Boulder Black get a short... Oh, wait, I got to stop myself here. It's just a gate in. I think this surely is just a freebie killing the Rumble.
Teleport coming in, though.
Wait, teleport? Okay,
we...
JVI is very risky with that. Has the movement speed, but Mochia's chasing them the distance, gets them the distance, but I think that TP was kind of sus. I'm not going to lie, because that Rumble is surely dead there. And now maybe they're looking for the dive on the Orianna. Mako is on the top side and the strongest member and not here for the fight. Oh my god, I think JVI is trying to stay to clear the wave, and they get hit with a knock-up into another one. The shockwave hits it and almost through the wave. It's not fast enough. The minions were still tanking it, and now they're going for this Rakana as well, who can't get the last knock-up, and it's Koipon just jumping into the barrel to get shot. Now, wait, Killer Instinct, the flash follow on the Valkyrie. Anaswee's doing so much damage, and it's a trade back a little bit from Sleep, but he gets mowed down by Mako and Anaswee, so it's a trade back. I think a bit too aggressive by Sleep there, but he did get caught by the flash when he comes lightning for the slow. But it feels like Koipon are swimming up the wrong creek because they just send 3 people bot to die for no reason, and they only trade a kill back on the Corki. So it's yeah, I don't know what the decision making there was, but they lose a lot more than they gain. And Koipon, yes, you do have carries, you do have members, but you know, the fights aren't going to win like that.
For sure, I think it's a little bit strange for Koipon. Like, I get the TP for JV. I think that, like, it's not correct, but it's kind of explainable by nerves, and I think that's permissible. But then kind of saying, no, we are defending this turret feels a little bit excessive, where you can easily just like, oh, Rumble's dead, let's force mid, or something like that, because there was a lot of cooldowns expelled used by...
Oh,
see it again.
Yeah, too far up, not much to say here, and just gets run down. Oh wait, flashes away from the Q3, but there's no turret to help them. Mochia dropping the World Ender. Oh, nice dodge on the Q1, but the Q2 into the Umbral Dash gets the kill. Wait, they're looking though, local library. Dodges out with the blast cone from the quickness. So that's an ultimate invested for nothing. Now Lydia's stuck in a hard place. He doesn't have anyone to dash to with the battle dance, and he just gets knocked out. The knockup is not good enough to keep him alive, and Koi are running around with their heads cut off. It seems like they're so disconnected. There's multiple people on the Baron. They're like, yeah, Twisted Fate is gone, but the Rakan's trying to solo zone when they have no vision, and their carries are just not in the right place. So a lot of macro mistakes means they are dropping pressure on the map and down quite a bit of gold after those fumbles.
Yeah, I actually would like CU Boulder to stay here for one more wave. I think the rest of the team recalling when Aatrox is free hitting, and then of course probably
overextending, get the shockwave, invest the exhaust, and it's, I mean, you have spellbook, but it's not enough. So shutdown given over to Mako means this Xin Zhao continues to get stronger. And honestly, I think it's up to Mako to make the team fights matter. He's on 3 items, the Death Stance fully completed. It's, yeah, in the long fight, Koipon win for sure, but they've been taking, not extended fights, they've just been getting blown up.
For sure. Oh, the Twisted Fate kill makes me cringe, honestly. It is just everyone's recalling except you, and you get caught. It is just not really permissible in this game. And I mean, Aatrox is moving down. I think this is correct. We need to force something. I would want CU Black to be on this wave, because right now we're ceding mid push and letting them get this soul.
Local Library actually has to flag and drag away. They have tons of damage to kill this, and Anaswee's on top of it with the Green Sues. Local Library now looking up for JVI. He needs to deal the damage to stop this Jarvan. The charm hits, the quickness hits nothing, but it's secured. Infernal Soul goes over to Koipon as they blow up Local Library. Now in the backline, Mochi is looking for the Kai'Sa, who ults out. Great kiting from them as they flash away. Now jumping in with the Valkyrie. Anaswee dodges the last rocket, but they trade back with the Acathian Rain. Mr. That Man's now running down Sleep and kills him with the drill with the Flame Spitter. And it is ultimately CU Boulder Black giving up that Infernal Soul because there's just a little bit too late on Local Library's Jarvan. And oh my god, Anaswee on the Kai'Sa, playing like Prime Uzi, dodging literally everything, kiting out Mochia on the Aatrox. Oh wait, mid lane, bro, flash away from the wind becomes lightning. JVI survives with that shield, but yeah, I'll pass it over to you again, Bushman, but oh my god, this guy is schmoving. He dodged literally everything that could have killed him as he's inside the Dragon Pit, kills Mochia, trades back enough damage on Sleep so that the Rumble can kill him, and practically wins the team fight after I thought the recon engage was whiffed. So just beautiful plays from Anasui to really turn that fight around.
Yeah, Mako secures the soul as well, making the outcome of this fight essentially a bit moot, but they do still win. And I'm just kind of left wanting by this C Black lineup. I mean Brav should never die there. That kind of sets off this chain of events. But I think then that you need to force on someone somewhere else on this map. And I mean,
Yeah, I
this
don't
can
really need to
happen.
talk about this. He's
Yeah,
just dead.
teleport coming in now again. We're finding us in a similar position. I think we can't contest this Baron. Potentially local library plays to steal this, but I think it is correct what Sleep is doing here, playing to get something. And you really do need to just put pressure on another side of the map.
Hit. Wait, oh my gosh, was so close to get the steal, but he doesn't get it once again. Now Plasma Stack blows him up. Yes, it is Sleep that trades back that tier 2 mid, but that is a consolation prize in the face of Baron, in the face of Dragon Soul. That is a huge amount of power for Koi Pond, not only temporarily, but permanently. And I think they're going to have to play big on this Baron power play as local library's dead for the next 30 seconds.
He sure is. There is still, I mean, the towers that are up are for the most part tier 2s. I don't think Boulder Black are necessarily in a risk of losing the game of this play. I think there's gonna be something else. Teleport coming in again, and we've seen
I mean, JBI is just dead to rights here. I get
really
it.
good.
You want to try to push out side lanes, and it is a decent play, but not when there's an enemy TF. Sleep is doing a good job of clearing the wave, but can he do it fast enough before these Baron minions breach it? It's a 4. It's supposed to be a 1v3-1, but it's a 0-3-1 now, as they're going to secure this tier 2 mid and possibly this tier 2 bot.
The question now is, are we fighting this? There are only 3 people, but Clever does have the kind of
so much damage, cancels the knockback as we see Mako flash out with the Crescent Guard. Lydia doing a great job of peeling, but I think they're going to get caught by the gold card. Yeah, they're stunned up by that and the concussive blows, and now Anasui in some danger. Now flash forward, Winter's Bite hit, flash and oh my gosh, the flash flag and sorry, just the flag and drag after the flash Winter's Bite. So it is tier 2 and bot and mid taken, but it is multiple kills given over to C Boulder Black. So gold lead stays where it is due to those shutdowns, but the map is broken open a little bit. Thankfully, no kill was taken. The shutdown was not given over for Mako's bounty. As we see, Equalizer dropped on local library. JBI is here though. Can they catch up? I don't think they can. Brav is hiding in the jungle. They have no vision here. Koipon in some danger, but the shockwave hits on the Twisted Fate. Brav is just dead to rights. He gets cooked by the Flame Spitter. Flash forward from Mr. Thatman, who does overheat. When it becomes lightning, hits nothing. And the drag back on the Umbral Chains is good, but Mako looks like he wants to keep chasing. Dissonance is good. Mochia gets tagged by the Wind Becomes Lightning, slowed up by the Smite. Can Mako keep chasing with the Audacious Charge? He does. 2-3 knockup. Mochia pops the ultimate, but he dies through the Crescent Guard. It is Mako just absolutely running the town on this game. Just, I don't know, his Xin Zhao W's reach further than mine because he is just on point with these. Didn't die in the last fight, turns it around for this one, and he takes out 2 with the help of the team. I think it's him, the main character of this game here, Mr. Bushman.
For sure, I'm just kind of perplexed. Why we even try to like high five Koi with a gold card? That's what kind of sets this out. Sleep is nowhere near. Sleep is the item worthy. He does damage. You need to sort of play around them, especially when you are on this more low damage pick, Twisted Fate. And it's such a shame for Civil Black because they had just saved the game state. They found a really good engage when the enemy had Baron, and then they just kind of throw it away again. And now we're back to neutral, but the change is Koi has soul. Koi scale so hard in this game. Look at the Kaisa, 3, almost 4 items. That's scary. They also have flash, so local library's Cataclysm is going to be less effective in this next team fight.
Absolutely. I mean, it feels like Koi Pond are really trying to kill Mako and Anasui. I don't think Mr. Thatman's is that threatening by himself. Same with the Orianna. Oh, they're looking for the Death Brush here. Elder Dragon spawning in 30. They're just scrapping over the mid wave.
Blue card again. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, this is just the kind of standoff that you don't really want to have. You do have that Aatrox, but you would much rather have someone on side that Twisted Fate can play towards, because just now you have a Twisted Fate in the team fight, and that's not really where you want to be, regardless of how proficient the player really is. Go for clean, does hit the stun.
Boy, locked up a little bit. They have damage. Oh,
Flash in.
flash quickness. Hits 3 members. Equalizer throw down. Oh, shockwave onto 3 is a beautiful engage. That's multiple members just instantly die. Streak later down. Make it. Oh my god, look at this damage from Mako. As we see Anasui kited out, and Mochia can't even fight back. The World Ender heals him, but the healing means not. As Sleep valks away once again, and he just has to watch his team evaporate. Mako jumps forward with the audacious charge. Nice dodge on Link on Lightning, but I think this is just delaying the inevitable as Anasui blasts him down with the killer instinct, with the bullets, and it's just Mako doing an absolute carry performance in this game. It is just a bare gold lead after that team fight, and Koi Pond, baby, they swim to the right place, and they're going to take CU Boulder Black to Game 5 in the quarterfinals, baby. Bushman, we've got a damn series on our hand. It is match point for both teams, 2-2. Whip out the Silver Scrapes.
This series is for sure delivering on the heartbreak and the acceleration. I think these two teams are really well matched up. They win, but also when they win quite decisively. I'm a little bit disappointed about C Black and how they kind of falter in some pivotal moments of macro, but we forget all about that because it is game 5 now where everything is decided, and I am looking forward to it. This is going to be so exciting.
Dude, we got a series on our hands. You know, I swore by accident. We're supposed to keep it family friendly on Risen, but hey, I think this deserves it because we're going to Game 5 already in our streamed finals. I mean, we didn't have a Game 5 in the other Risen League on Tuesdays that I cast until the finals, and baby, this we got a stew cooking. Like, look at Mako's on Ninja out damaging both carries, both I guess it is Twisted Fate mid, but both carries out damaging the Aatrox. Like, this dude was on something else. Like, Mako locked the F in to put his team over the line, and like Anasui kiting out perfectly. JVI hit the key shockwave after a beautiful setup from Lydia, and yeah, like you said, CU Boulder they made some really great plays, I think, in the mid game, but they kind of threw it away, looking for just a random skirmish in the jungle, not having any cooldowns up, and they just ate it, right? And then after the Baron, it felt like Koi could do no wrong. And yeah, ultimately that takes us to 5 games. I'm very excited to be here to cast what will hopefully be a 5th banger game. You know, we saw some stomps, we saw some tough games, and now it all boils down to this here. Bushman, thank you again for joining us, and we hope this series has delivered against and maybe exceeded your expectations.
For sure. I didn't expect this to be this much of a nail biter. Maybe in my biased self, I probably wouldn't want it to be, but I'm happy that I'm here and that I get to sort of experience this again because I have missed this where it just goes so deep into the series. You really see the nerves play out. I think for game 5 we're going to see some really exciting picks as well. I think that's what I'm mostly looking forward to.
We got some picks. We got some. I mean, the champion pools are pinched. We have both teams probably playing on just crazy nerves. It is the last game of the night, the last possible game that we could have in the series. Yeah, I'm happy that you're enjoying being back so much, and I'm sure it's not the highest level League of Legends gameplay. It's not your Swedish tier 3 NLC qualifiers, but we are having fun, and we got some gameplay. We got some
I've cast
real fist fighting in every game.
I've casted some slugfests back home too. This is I am in my element, so to say.
Perfect, perfect. And you're joined by a quipping Canadian that yells a lot when he sees the team fight. So hopefully you're in good company. But with that, any final thoughts on the series, on this game so far, Bushman, before we jump to a quick break, one of our last couple breaks in the series?
I don't really have much to say other than to wish that both teams brings their A game. Hopes we get a really good game. It would be a shame to sort of see one of them kind of fall over. I think that would be a shame. So I do hope for a similar game to Game 4 because I do think there were moments where both of them were in the lead, so to say, and I'm just looking forward to a really close game.
Same here. I am looking for, I just hope competitive final game. It would be I'm sure both teams don't want to go down without swinging at least a little bit in this Game 5 Silver Scrapes. I don't know, Three Eyes, if we have the legal availability to cast that. I'm pretty sure it's a royalty-free song, but I could be wrong. Throw on a remix or something, but give us Silver Scrapes in the next lobby. And to all of our fans, especially you East Coast baddies, it's 12:30 for you, For Boulder, it's mountain time. It's 10:30, it's chill. But for everyone on the East Coast and onwards, appreciate your viewership. It's a late night, but Saturday is for Risen, baby. And we'll be back shortly after this break to take you into the draft for the final game in this series between Koi Pond and CU Boulder Black. We'll be back soon. Hello, hello, everyone. We return. It is Risen Esports Unstoppable League. I'm going to go real fast on this one, but we got not grand finals, but quarter grand finals as we go to game 5, Silver Scrapes. Unfortunately, production let me know that we cannot play it on stream legally, but at home, play it yourselves. Get your music blasting on because, in my mind, I'm hearing Silver Scrapes. Again, it's Kevin Dunk and Bush, and we're going to take you straight into the draft for game 5 between CU Boulder Black and Koi Pond, both at 2-2. And these fearless draft picks are starting to get crazy. Bushman, take it away.
For sure. We do see the Kog'Maw coming in as, I mean, it's hard to sort of comment on if this is a first blind pick or not because we are so deep, as you're saying. Koi kind of capitalizing on the fact that they did play Silas in game 3. It was just rips the Malphite. I think that's a really cool development based on how they have played it previously in this series. So I think that's a very cool development.
Yeah, it is. It is great. It's Sea Boulder Black going to choose blue side, but they are. I think they're sticking to their guns. Like a pretty standard top laner. Now they got Mr. That Man's on. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Mochia on the Ornn. I think they are a bit more comfortable on some of those more carry picks, but maybe they can shape the game more on the Ornn. They feel, with that setup and local library picking the Lilia. You were talking about this before. Lilia pick. What does this mean for the side of CU Boulder Black?
I what it means that local library is gonna cycle uh just every camp imaginable, every camp possible, and then just try to be as strong as possible. Koi are being quite nice, giving them quite a bit of melees that they will be able to just heal off of and be a threat with that flash Q. I think that is the game plan when you are Lilia. You just want to cycle camps as much as possible and then be so strong and get that Q flash R. That is sort of the game plan. But I'm actually surprised that Lilia went through the draft in game 5. I would have for sure sniped that away.
Yeah. I mean, it's you get late into the draft and you're more scared of sleep on this Ash and this excuse me, the Zaya than you are on local library on the Lilia, and that might come back to bite you considering, like you said, that is one of their comfort picks. We're seeing the last couple bans here being the Acel and the Janna, so it looks like Koi are really, really committing to this dive. Poppy is still up though, still not banned or picked in any game, and the Galio being locked in for Koi means they have even more engage. I don't know if Seabold or Black have room in their draft for support. Maybe it's a support Poppy. I feel like that would really suck for their bot lane prio, but it would be immense in the team fights. Akshan being picked here is a counter pick into the Galio, which I really like. It's a lot of damage. Can force out the Galio in lane. Sure, it is squishy and prone to ganks, especially from the Viego or the Malphite moving down. But I like that Sea Boulder Black are putting their guns, or sorry, putting their I don't know, their hands to where their guns are because this is a bit of an off meta pick and they're putting the faith into it. And lastly, I think this is going to be support Maokai. So Sea Boulder Black are really digging deep for some picks, and it's looking a bit disjointed. But I mean, they have engaged, they have team fight, they have wave clear, they have ways to kill tanks, they got magic damage. It works out for me, baby. And Koi Pond have a ton of pick potential and engage. If the Viego starts to pop off, especially against the squishy targets like the Leah and Auction, I don't know if CU Boulder have any way of stopping this. Because it is a lot of sticking on you tools from Koi.
For sure. Like I'm looking at this and like I like the Lilia just because that is in local library's wheelhouse. Koi, as you're saying, if one melee into Lilia is bad, then 4 must be really good because we are just sending it. I get the Akshan pick. I think there are some question marks in regards to it. Like I get that you don't want to have a mage with a Lilia with an Ornn with a Kog'Maw. That would have just made the gallery have too much, and I guess that was the sort of the next lined up AD mid pick. But I'm a little bit scared that there is too much access onto this action with the Galio with the Malphite. So I'm a little bit scared. That is a bit of a question mark. That is, I'm gonna have to see how Brawl plays this lane because action can for sure pop off. I mean, we've all seen Fanta. I hope. Uh, Germany represent, I guess.
Oh, you're Swedish.
It's close by, almost.
Okay.
Not really, but he is so good, and like he makes Akshan look really strong. Akshan can do so much. I think for sure that is a bit of the wild card in this draft, but I'm also a little bit afraid of how it's gonna fare.
Yeah, I did say that they have wave clear. I take that back unless I mean Akshan does mostly go static shift, but I think that's fake wave clear. Like it's good enough to a certain point, but it's not real. Like I'm gonna one shot the wave.
Yeah,
Um, like you said, Lilia into 4 essentially melees is really good, but these are champions that have a lot of lockdown once you get close to them, right? Like if you're Lilia, you can get close enough to the Galio, but how close are you allowed to get before he just taunts you instantly and follows up with the knock up, right? Like you really have to play the line, I think, as Lilia, because if you don't, you're not effective. But you get too close, you cross that line, Galio taunt into knock up, into thresh hook, into Viego stealing you, and you're pretty cooked because yeah, Lilia's not too tanky against this team comp, but Koi, on the other hand, right, they are pretty low damage if this Viego doesn't get going. Like Galio doesn't do much. Malphite, relying on base damages and Jin. I'm praying for Anasui to go for like the full damage build, like Hex Optics or Storm Razor into like an IE into the LDR. Like don't give me the Yomus into the rapid fire peanut build. I want to see some damage.
yeah, for sure. And I think you raised on something that's really important if Viego gets going. I think this is for sure like the Viego comp. And Mako has proven themselves to be quite proficient as these on these kind of skirmishing picks. Viego is slightly different than Xinjiao, of course, but sort of what I want to get to is if local library can get ahead of that curve, be on Viego specifically Raptors when they spawn, you cycle them as well. I think that can really put a dampener, sorry,
Right.
on how Viego is able to do damage. So I think eyes on how these Lilia paths and if they are able to steal away camps routinely, I think that can be a real sort of key to victory for Sea Black.
Absolutely here. I think with that, the players are going into they're finishing up the draft, and we're going to go into a quick spectator delay. The last thing I want to bring attention to before we go to a quick break, and then I'll pass it over to you, Bushman, if you have any final thoughts. But I'll start off with Mako here. Koi Mako, second most played champion, second highest mastery is the Viego. In their champion history, they got almost 60 games in solo queue, and they are quite comfortable on this champion. Local library on the Lilia. Also, nearly 100 games in solo queue. Great KDAs. Almost a 60% win rate. It is these two players playing pretty much their absolute comfort. They're saying, play around me and I will carry the team. And it's going to truly be a battle of two junglers to see who will take the game 5 in CU Boulder Black versus Koi Pond.
I agree. I do think there are other avenues for Sea Boulder. Akshan can be this dark horse where he can just grace you with a bullet and then the entire team presses. That's like the high end, of course. But so there are other outputs for Sea Boulder Black. Kog'Maw also a notorious scaler. So, but of course, that leaves them open to engages. There are 280 carries, Lilia and Aorn. So there are ways for Koi to sort of find an edge in this game, but as we've been stating, there's a lot of pressure on Mako in this game because I don't really think that a Malphite Galio shouldn't really be able to do too much when the game goes long.
Yeah, yeah, okay. It is Koi Pond really praying for Mako to pop off. They have the setup. The Jin, I think, is a good way to, fully enable the Viego with the long range. And I think actually Lilia, it's pretty funny because Malphite can steal that movement speed. He might get a really fast rock just from running people down. But with that is the final team comps locked in. Kevin Dunk and special guest host Bushman from the Swedish leagues, the legend from the Swedish league, some would say. We'll be back after a short break. Shout out to 3 Eyes on production, producing great work in this very long night. But to everybody watching, we'll be back very soon with the final game of the night, Game 5, Silver Scrapes, baby, between CU Boulder Black and Koi Pond for a chance at the semifinals in Risen Esports. Hello, everyone. We return to Game 5 of Risen Esports Unstoppable League Season 16. It's the quarterfinals, baby, between CU Boulder Black and Koi Pond, who have taken us to Game 5, both at 2 and 2. It is the fifth game in the Fearless. Champions are gone. Silver Scrapes is blasting, I'm sure, in everyone's mind. And I'm joined, it's me, Kevin Dunk, your play-by-play caster, joined by Bushman from the Swedish Online League, a legendary caster from what I'm told. And we're very happy to bring you this final game of the night as these players, they want it bad, baby. They are looking to win this Game 5 after all these hours of gameplay. They are ready to go. Shout out as well Twitch, 3 Eyes on Production, and joining us, who was a color cast on Game 1, Newbie MLG, my good friend. So appreciate everybody who's made the stream happen. And I'm going to pass it over to Bushman to talk about this early game.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I would want to sort of, because we did talk a little bit about it before, where Lilia starts. I would have probably liked them to even like fist fight for this Raptor camp. I think if Lilia or local library can force their way into and start the red side, I think that would really put a dampener on how strong Mako can get and how fast he can get that strong. It just looks like they're gonna path top to bot, and I mean that's a little bit disappointing just because I think there is a real kind of angle for Boulder Black to gain an advantage in that lane, but it didn't really happen, so we're gonna have to see a standard jungle gameplay.
One thing I want to bring to everyone's attention is that Mr. Thatman's actually went first strike on the Malphite. I don't know if this means he's going full AP. I mean, the D-ring start is pretty standard for Malphite just for like the mana and the poke, but if that is an AP Malphite, I can honestly see the angle. There's not really a front line outside of the Ornn. So like Malphite, like it's very hard to dodge an ultimate. You just one-shot the Lilia or the Akshan before they get going, and that's a one-team fight right there, especially with the help of Viego just being able to get the reset. But Mochia taking up some turret damage, and it's just a wet noodle fight in the top side.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is tough. It's cold to go first strike in this lane. I mean, I don't think it's good necessarily. I think you are losing out so much because you are either omitting the sorcery tree or you're omitting the red tree or a green tree, which means that you're either gonna run out of mana or you're gonna run out of HP.
Yeah, he's just scrapping with Mochia. They're just hitting each other.
Yeah.
But Mochia got the grasp stack, and Mr. Thatman doesn't have the farming, the gold of the first strike. So
yeah. It is a slow push here. Mochia. It is just a little bit kind of a wet noodle fight. I think this is as good as it gets for this Malphite. If he's going full AP, Mochia.
Oh wait, look at this, Bruv getting very aggressive here, but gets that heroic swing to escape, and now the Lilia is here as well. Mako making to the play, but it is very hard for them to actually lock down this Akshan unless JVI manages to get a taunt to cancel the swing. So mid lane is safer now. Anasui taking some chunks from sleep as the Thresh went up to ward. I mean, Anasui should, sorry, Lydia should have the push for sure against this 2v2. As we see Lydia go wide on the hook. Oh my god, JVI actually dashes in and it goes wide. Heroic charge just goes completely the wrong direction as they're gonna go down in a solo Boulder first blood. Anasui just walking up and getting the fourth shot on the Kog'Maws is a bit cheeky there. They do have the level lead, but wow, JVI just getting blasted, and I think Bruv is very happy to get that first kill.
I really think there's a lot of pressure that's kind of hovering above this Akshan pick. I said it before, it is the only like pure AD damage threat, and so if you don't want Koi to be able to just fully index into magic resist, you need this Akshan to be as strong. So I think everyone who is kind of rooting for this Boulder Black team, that's me, is gonna be really happy with that outcome. I'm sorry if I kind of coloring the cast, but I mean that is the title of the color caster, of course. So what this means for the game is that this Gallo is gonna have to build some armor, and that's not really what the champion wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh my god, Mr. Thatman's going for the tier. This is a psychotic build on Malphite, I'm gonna be honest. He's going for the full ARAM Mayhem build, looking for like the damage on the ultimate. Like this is certainly some item. I feel like if he went tank, he just doesn't die to anything, but you know what? I'm gonna let him figure it out. But Bruv getting jumped on here, the stun misses. Mako actually getting chunked out by Bruv. Heroic swing away, Mako almost getting 1v1 there as we see. Oh my god, the comeuppance just kills him. Mako didn't even try to get to safety. And surely you'd think that you'd walk towards somebody that can tank the bullets for you, and he just doesn't. This is, I don't know, remember the lore from Ruination, but surely that's more accurate of Akshan just blasting away Viego with no plot relevance whatsoever. As look at, like, Bruv, like you said, if you're voting I mean, you're rooting for CU Boulder. You are just happy to see that happen. Oh, Sleep flashes in a straight line. Flash hook is going to catch him, and surely Anaswee's going to pick up this kill. Oh, Lydia, why did you steal that? But Anaswee picks up that assist, I guess, and Lilia flashes in to scare the kill. But it was Dragon taken by local library on that Lilia solo bolo. So, I mean, trade of the Kog'Maw just for the Dragon scaling, I think is CU Boulder Black are happy considering it's Akshan being the late mid-game carry, and Kog'Maw's really your late-game insurance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you are happy. I think this is the first time Boulder Black has been able to claim the first dragon. But even so, Sleep gets caught in a way where had Viego been up, Boulder Black just loses that dragon again, which it just feels kind of unnecessary. It really isn't a place where the Kog'Maw should really walk up at all if Triglader isn't really around there to support him. And so I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not really that bad, especially considering that kill went over to Thresh.
Immediately getting the unstoppable force on him. Gia flashes early, gets popped by the Spectral Maw. Wait, Heartbreaker invested, but Cult of Forge God is good. Mr. Thatmans has to flash away in fear of the brittle, and now Bruv makes the roam happen, and it's the play from the Lilia as well. Mr. Thatman surely is going to die to this dive, and yeah, it's just going to be Mako having to leave him, but the reset on the heroic swing is good, and Mako gets hit with the Lilting Lullaby. The ultimate is just too little too late, but maybe, JVI gets the knockout, but it's not under turret. The flash was just barely enough for local library to escape there. And it is just tragedy after tragedy for the side of Koipon as they are losing everything. Their Viego at a 0-2 start, the Akshan at a 4-0 start. I don't want to say it now and jinx everything, but it's looking pretty lights out for the early game Koi.
I think Boulder Black is very happy with how this is turning out. The only AD threat on the team being this accelerated, that's gonna force the tanks to go armor unless they want to just be completely obliterated by this Akshan. Good Bellows Breath coming in. I mean, this is just, yeah. Oh no, you did damage to me. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think eyes on Lilia again. We need to go back and see how they are faring in these kinds of, how they're pathing. Lilia is right now going upwards towards these grubs, and Viego is on a counterweight going down. So it is just going to be how does Koi kind of trade off these really accelerated members of Boulder Black, because Lily also has a really fast grub, and is it instead a bot gank that's gonna be the angle for Mako?
Yeah, if I'm Koipon, I am looking for a way to get the Viego in, because we said earlier, like, you don't have really any way of killing the Ornn unless the Viego gets ahead. Like, yes, Jin can do decent damage, but he's not punching through the Ornn. And Bruv being so far ahead means he can just 1v1 anyone, clear the wave, and look for roam, so it's not safe for the Viego either. JVI getting counterpicked in that Galio is a bit hard. Like, they're put so many eggs in the Koi Mako basket, and live and die by the jungler, I think, because, Anaswee now in a bad trade, gets slowed by the Void Ooze. Treeglader is looking for it on the Twisted Advance. The barrier is popped. Treeglader looking a bit too close, though, gets played back in, and I think this is just going to be Treeglader dying to the fourth shot, as we see Mako looking for the gank on Sleep. Sleep, who does not have the ultimate, or say the flash or barrier available. Give this over to the Viego. Oh my, I saw Lydia wind up the auto tag, but Mako does go down, thankfully giving over the kill to Mako. Lydia being a good support, and Mako picking up a much-needed injection of gold on that bot side. So I think likely this is it's not game-changing, but it is a step in the right direction for Koipon.
Maybe this is negative. This is almost unacceptable what's happening. We've spoken about this. Lilia was going up. The only play. We are so strong topside. Akshan is 4-0. Look at this static shiv. The only play is bot lane. We are doing grubs. The only play is bot lane. We need to boil the Boulder Black bot lane. What is this? What's happening?
I can feel the Swedish rage from you here. Oh, Mr. That Man's in a lot of danger, though, but Mochia doesn't have the mana to execute him with that Call of the Forge God. But now, a 4-man play mid. JVI gets the Lantern. The Flay cancels the heroic charge. Surely this must be a kill. The stun land. The knockup lands Bruv. Taunted up by the full channel of the Idol of Duran. Bruv gets shut down, and it gets donated to Mako. And that is exactly what we were talking about. It is live and die by the jungler, and I think he just got the cash in. That is so huge. Bruv didn't even choose to, or maybe it's not. No, Flash was up, but he just didn't have a chance to use it. He tried to go for the heroic swing first and got chain CC'd afterwards. So Mako getting that kill means there's enough prio bot for him to get to Dragon. I said that it wasn't game-changing, but it might have been because Viego had the money to get Kraken Slayer, kills the Akshan for a 700 gold shutdown, and now this guy is active, and we've seen Mako carry this before, and now he's in a good spot to do it again. It is truly, truly CU Boulder Black's game to lose at this point because Bruv is so strong, and they let him fall by the wayside in that play.
For sure. I mean, again, CU Boulder Black being sloppy on where they are positioned. Bruv, again, just like the bot lane, pushing too far up, getting caught. We see swing here again.
Ultimate invested by the Myokites, a flash away from the Jhin. I think this is just surely Lydia going down. The kill. Oh, what is with support stealing kills? That could have been a kill for the Akshan. Shrieglader steals it with the Bramble Smash, unfortunately, and Anasui does get away with his big. And he's going to be able to catch this wave, but Call the Forge Gun on the top side. Mr. Thatman's getting run down by the Brittle Proc. The Rupture hits as well. Mr. Thatman's, I don't know what the hell he's building, but the tier into what do you call it? The Bomby Cinder? He's building something, and I don't think it's cooking well.
I think it's gonna go into Fimbulwinter. I don't hate it, but it does really scan with the AP build. Bruv trading quite well, getting the passive shield from his passive, but yeah, I mean, I'm getting quite annoyed actually by how CU Boulder Black is like kind of finding themselves in really good positions and then just kind of squandering it. I'm heating up the cauldron.
Right, or just making a great play and immediately fumbling afterwards.
Yeah, I'm heating up the cauldron. They're gonna take a dip soon. If this continues. But yeah, so Dragon goes over again, as you're saying, 1.5 item on the Viego. Heavy training, which is really not what you want to see. You want this Viego to be as weak as humanly possible. I still...
Oh, Anasui getting run down a little bit though. Sleep just blasting him with the Bio Arcane Barrage. But Mako is here. Oh, unfortunately we did get a drop off from sorry, Bushman, but he is back now. JVI trying to contest this wave as now the Akshan has free time to roam. Very good vision coverage on the spot side though from Koi. I hope they see this play happening. Oh, the hook whiffs. Voidus is good to disengage, and now Akshan is making his move to the bot lane. I think they pinged it. They see that Bruv is there, so they're gonna back away. Okay, so Bushman, I think, is still loading up his computer. We see Mr. Thatman secure the build. It's Hollow Radiance, so I guess it is Hollow Radiance in the film. Well, I don't get why you get the first strike then. I don't know. If he wins, it's totally fine. If he loses, it's all that rune's fault. But it is the side of CU Boulder Black that have a lot of prio from their lanes. The Jhin can't actually walk up against the Kog'Maw and actually fight him mano-a-mano even with that fully completed item. But in the extended trades, the lethal tempo does win out. Anasui really has to just look back and forth for like the quick trades, and then once the Kog'Maw, is low enough, go for that 4th shot execute as Mako is ahead about 1k gold on the Lilia, but in the mid lane it's about a 1.6k gold lead for the Akshan, so Bruv is still very far ahead. It's practically Mako versus Bruv. It is a lore fight, baby, as we see here. Gia is just getting the better of Mr. Thatman. It feels like in every single game, especially this game 5, we're just beating down on the Malphite, but it is a bait. Mochia walking up a bit far. Now Unstoppable Force hits Mako, dealing some decent damage. And Nemo's Breath is good. Call the Force got activated. Can they get the cancel on it? They do not. Mochi actually whiffs it. Now Local Library is here. The play actually hits the horn. Can they kill them fast enough? The Ignite invested too finally goes down as the Hero's Entrance slams down for the peel. JBI going for the taunt under turret. Local Library is taking them down though with that Blooming Blows passive. NSP getting locked up a little bit under turret. Oh, they're trading heavily as they have to barrier early. Now Mako looking for more. They're on top of this Rift Herald. It is a 3v2, but there's a lot of ultimates down. I don't know if Koipon can actually take this fight because Brav shoved in the wave and now he's making the move.
Brav did shove in. People are moving in response. Malphite is keeping in as well. Doesn't have the unstoppable force. I think if this goes long, and we really need to look here towards Brav, if he can get those resets on the swing. They're also splitting up here. Marco is completely out of position.
TP back in. The Maokai ultimate thrown out. Only hits Mr. Thatman and the Thresh, but they've taken quite low. Flash play, and the hook hits into the Flash CC, but it gets stolen. They get the Rift Herald, but Brav is taken so low. Can they get the finishing kill? They smite him, but now Mr. Thatman is getting kited up. The heroic swing at the last second means there's no reset. Lydia trying to peel for his team, and Mako has to bail on the play. This is complete disaster for the side of Koipon as they cannot kill the Akshan and they cannot secure the play. They even lose the Herald in the process, and Anasui even makes it to the play to give up the wave, and turret plays to the Kog'Maw. It is just a disaster for Koipon. They lose 3 members. They lose the Herald. They lose the plate. They lose first turret. I don't know. They might lose the game off of that as they just did not have the ultimates to lock down the Akshan, and they paid dearly for that fight.
See, Boulder again kind of clutches it back up, doesn't give the reset, as you said. That's so important for this team fight. Marco was chasing Brav helplessly, trying to, please, I need this for the team fight, but they didn't get it, and so this Viego just can't be as effective as the Lilia or the Akshan in this team fight. And see Boulder Black again gets away, gets another dragon. This is so good for the pace of the game for them.
Absolutely, I think Mako choosing to go for the Noon Quiver, and I think likely getting that shield bow means he just doesn't have the damage. Maybe if he had, you know, the what's it called, the Serrated Dirk, it would be good enough, but you know, they burn so much, they can't get the kill, and it just ends up being bad, as now Brav is here on this play. Lydia plays him back and gets knocked back by the Bramble Smash, and Brav collects another one. Lydia looking for plays, but the Jin's not online just yet. Can't really punch through the the team either by himself. And it is looking grim for the side of Koipon as they lose top turret. Now they lose tier 1 mid. The map is falling apart for them. And, Siu Boulder did also get second dragon somewhere amidst that play.
Yeah, for sure. And now, with 4 minutes on the dragon, we're gonna enter a bit of a low period. As you said, the Immortal Shieldbow is gonna come in for this Viego. I would probably have wanted to see him go for Dominic's regards, honestly, because I don't think you living longer here necessarily ensures that you're gonna get the kill if you're hitting this Lilia that's stacking HP, this Ornn that just has so much innate armor. And so, sorry, this noise in my room.
No, all good.
So,
Mr. Madman's Mrs. Cannon, -1.
-1. That is not like, sorry, I got kind of thrown off by
no,
breaking.
Take the time to get back in.
But yeah, of course, we are now really in a good position. Even the Lilia is 30 CS up, even in gold, with this Viego that we said was going to be a problem here. Regulator throws out the sapling. It's called here.
Decent damage, it's just a Maokai, and Anasui doesn't have the root. Treeglader taking so much damage, but he just survives that. Koi Mako invests the... Oh my lord, it's a TP as well. They have the chain CC, but Mochia is pretty much unkillable. He's taking so much damage and not dying. And now Brav, heroic swing in, Call the Force got activated. Now the hero's entrance as well. The knockup goes in the backline, and JBI almost dies. The rebuttal into the comeuppance is going to kill him, as we see Mochia just still alive. Finally dies to the force shot, but the team fight is completely lost afterwards. It is just cleanup crew by this Akshan, by this Lilia, as Anasui gets run down, and it's going to be 4 members dead. A double kill for local library as Koi Mako's running for his life from this deer. And we talked about this. You cannot kill Mr. Mochia in time, and that means your entire team fight falls apart. Mako invested the Heartbreaker on the Maokai, means that he doesn't have it to get the reset, and it just means absolute travesty, just a travesty, all the bad words you can say for how the performance of Koipon is going, as they are down 6k gold in 20 minutes, losing the tier 2 as well, and it is looking grim for their for their quarterfinals hopes.
But again, there is no damage, or there isn't enough damage, I should say, for this Viego. You said it very well, but I can't stress this enough. Tree Glader didn't die. He face checks, gets caught. I was sure this is a reset. This is a lost team fight. I saw the teleport coming in from Mochita, and I was thinking, oh, that's another reset. I think for sure this Viego just takes over, but he didn't. And that's so tragic for Koi, because I think if any of these fights results in just one corpse possession by Viego, I think we're looking at a massively different game.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure even where Mr. That Man's ulti hit. Like, it felt like even if it did hit somebody, it didn't do much. And the Lilia's on 2 items, the Akshan's on 2 items, the Kog'Maw even now ahead of their lane opponent, 2 items. It is just so difficult for the side of Koipon to do anything. Like, there's really no hope for them. They just don't have the damage, right? Like, the Jhin, you're asking Jhin Diego to punch through a Kog'Maw as they look for Sleep here in the bottom lane, who's kiting out, gets it with the Justice Punch, the taunt hits into the fully charged Spectral Maul. Surely this is a kill on the Kog'Maw, who cannot trade back, so it is a good kill for the Viego, but yeah, like we said before, it's just not a lot. And now, yeah, in the bot lane, it's a collapse here. Bruv on the Akshan chasing. Heroic entrance actually does do enough to peel off Bruv, but I think Bruv is just going to collect the kill on the Galio instead. And Mako lives with the flash invested, but JVI dies for his sins.
It isn't the res coming out from the Archon, so Seabold Black still doesn't have like the best tempo advantage, but it is gonna be enough to where they can just put themselves on the soul point, and I think that's really scary for the side of Koi, just because that means that in 5 minutes that there is a team fight that you are gonna have to take, because otherwise you're staring down an Infernal Soul action. I think that's scary.
Yeah, I think it's terrifying, actually, considering this guy's probably almost on 3 items at 22 minutes on a very, very snowballing champion with the heroic charge resetting every time. And Koipon, outside of the Malphite ult, don't really have an easy CC to get to him, because we've seen JVI and this or that man just throwing everything for the first engage. They don't have many tools afterwards. Bruv can just play like an Akali, like a, like a Yone. Wait for the key cooldowns to be down, hit their E button, and just go absolutely haywire on the backline. So, I mean, there, all hope's not, hope's not all lost. It is a 5k gold lead, which is, it's not completely untenable, but Mako, really needs to hit that 3rd item. Anasui on the IE is quite strong in short bursts. Like, they have to find just a 100-0 pick on someone like Bruv, someone like Local Library, someone like Sleep, and just turn around the fight. Like, maybe Mako can steal the Kog'Maw body and like kite it out with the % health damage, but you're really hoping for a miracle there.
For me, if I am Mako here, I really want to get the possession of Tree Glader. I think that is probably the best kit that you can get, because then you get the root, the Bramble Smash, that's max health damage, I think, unless they change that, and then you kind of get a guaranteed ult. I think that's like really what you want to look for. Now, people are collapsing at the top side, investing a lot of tempo, so Seabold Black, they have free reign on this bot side. I don't think this is anything. Really?
Yeah, Mr. That Man's just trading blow. I mean, bro, if you have the grasp of the Undying, you'd have a lot more bonus health right now, and you could heal, but, that's neither here nor there, as he's just getting walloped by Mochia in this wet noodle fight. I mean, eventually one noodle will kill the other, because, like, Mako's making the play, but, like, you can't even kill the Ornn either. Like, it's a bit helpless. Oh, wait. Oh, bruv. Okay. Almost getting caught by that death sentence. Surely would have been a kill. Followed up by the Jhin root, but he's going to flash out, investing that cooldown to make sure he does not throw the game away. And I double check. Bramble Smash does do % health damage, but yeah, it's just a 5-man siege in the top lane. There is no wave clear for the side of Koi, because they have Galio Malphite and they have Jhin, so there are no wave clearers here. Oh, wait. JVI getting caught here, gets stunned, gets rooted up by the Jhin, gets killed by the Heartbreaker. Oh, no, the shutdown goes to JVI, unfortunately, but now they have Mako's body. Mako has the body. Heroic swings forward. Can he get on top of Sleep? Heartbreaker does not get the slow, but he gets the stun as we see the curtain call get invested as well. It hits onto the Lilia as a flash forward into the Justice Punch, into the taunt. Now JVI is just getting kited out by the Kog'Maw. I think he went too deep and he's gonna die. Local Library shreds him to pieces with the passive, and now there's no ultimates for this fight. Flash in the backline with the unstoppable force, Lydia goes down. Mr. That Man just truly does not have the damage. He finally gets the kill, and Mako cannot get local library for the reset. Mochia is low mana, but he has the health bar to make it work. Mako looking on the backside for Delilia. Can he get the pick? Oh, he cannot. Just the local library was legit like one auto attack away from dying, and that would have been a 700 gold shutdown to the Viego. So Koipon finds signs of life here, but I don't know if it's enough to actually win the game as Mr. That Man's going for a proxy. His local library just run him down now. He's on 3 items.
See Boulder Black really playing on the knife's edge here. I was just gonna say, Prob
no.
flashed. They
Mr.
find
That
him.
Man, what are you doing, brother? He is just...
We
He's
rest.
just
We
dead.
rest the
and
combo.
Perez. I think that's Baron.
It is. It's crazy to me that Prob gets to phase check twice and not lose the game instantly. That's so almost frustrating for me actually. Because I was just gonna say, action no flash. That means that Malphite ult is a real threat to him, and then he just walks into them, and then they flee. They kite fairly well actually. I think they kited with sleep fairly competently, but then we take the fight anyway, and then we almost give the reset to Viego. And I'm sorry if I'm just giving kind of a by the books play-by-play, but I want to stress that the Black was insanely lucky there, in my opinion.
I
I
agree.
think that should have been a wipe, a Baron, and that should have been the game's kind of turning on its head again.
No, I
But now we're
totally agree.
looking.
Oh, wait, Lydia. Face checking Brav, who gets hooked, but there's no follow-up. Mako can't hit the lantern because there's no peel. As we see Lydia just get absolutely eviscerated. There's no turret here either. Mako has to flee. I think they're going to have to back off. Call before it got activated. Now JVI getting rooted up. There's so much damage. He used the hero's entrance and actually gets away. There's no CC on him, but Mako getting too close. Oh, Brav actually trying to fly in and taking a lot of damage. The current call for the peel, but JVI is just going to go down. The current call does absolutely nothing as Mochia still tanking up this turret. Do they have the damage? Oh, huge unstoppable force, but there's just not enough damage as we see the Lilting Lullaby go onto the Viego, who goes down. Heartbreaker canceled, and it's a Heartbreaker for Koipon as Brav now dies under the turret. A triple kill for this Akshan, who finally dies through the turret, but it doesn't much matter. Koipon lose 5. Lydia died so fast, he's already back up, but it's a 5-for-1, and Dragon Soul and brought tier 2 for more money. Every time I say it, it feels like Koipon have an angle, but it seems like CU Boulder Black are just giving them false hope just to take it away, call it NA at Worlds. And it's going to be Infernal Soul secured for CU Boulder Black, and it's looking like lights out for the side of Koipon unless they find even more of a miracle than what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, securing that Infernal Soul just gives you Black an additional kind of avenue for scaling, gives them another kind of way to express their offensive stats, and I think that's really scary, especially when you're looking at Brav in this action and how much damage can actually come out from his ult in tandem with the Infernal Soul. It's gotta be that, I mean, we have seen it before. See Boulder Black, they have a tendency to overextend themselves a little bit, so I don't wanna kind of count their eggs before they're all hatched. So for the fans, Koi,
Wait, Brav might be able to run him down with the move speed. Okay, doesn't hit the Avenger rank, thankfully, for the slow, but like nowhere is safe for this Jhin practically.
Teleports.
Oh,
They want to go on Brav. Brav doesn't have flash.
Wait, oh no, the complete whiff of the unstoppable onslaught, but Brav has no flash. He road charges out. The hook gets tanked by the Ornn, and it's just a desperate play that does not work out. Now Mr. That Man's targeted by the comeuppance. Isn't going to go down exactly, but the Ornn is here to finish it. Hits him over the wall with the brittle proc, and that's just a clean 2-for-0. Mr. That Man's, that is an illegal Malphite ultimate with a more illegal build. He completely whiffs the unstoppable force from what I saw. I don't know, it was weird because I thought Brav stopped moving there, but I mean, that is just a play you cannot mess up in these kind of odds. And it's Baron. It is just 2 freebies for the side of CU Boulder Black, and I have nothing better to say other than Koipon are a sad little fishy right now.
For sure, I think that was very unfortunate. In my mind, if that's because I looked and Brav didn't have flash when the teleport came through, it was like 10 to 5 seconds off. And if that's the case, and that was kind of the margin that Koipon is operating on. I think that was a very impressive play, and then he just kind of mechanically misplayed, which it kind of is what it is. It's not acceptable in a game 5, but I do really enjoy that there is a possibility that that's what they were aiming for. But now Brav has flash again, and that makes Malphite a very sad panda, because now his ult is no longer
Oh, he's
there.
going in deep, actually. Hits Brub with the ultimate. The root whiffs as Vault of Forge God is used. Hero's entrance is just going to send the Galio the meat grinder as he gets absolutely stuffed. Mochia just tanking up so much. Brub swings forward. Look at the damage. Oh my god, it's a flash forward from Local Library. Get the huge Eve onto 3. Kills the Jin instantly. The Heartbreaker to try to kill Local Library, but it's not enough. A triple over to him. A quadra over to him. Surely this is going to be the Penta. He walks the forward against the Malphite, who gets into the base. Oh, Local Library going for the Penta and doesn't get it. They get shut down as Treeclater tries to secure it as well.
Can we
And
end?
I think, unfortunately, it's just crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and it's going to be goodbye to Koipon, Mr. That Man's the sole defender of the base. We said it. You live and die by Mako. He couldn't get the resets. His team could not set up for him well enough. Bruv completely 1v9ing this game with the help of Local Library. And in the end, it is not with the swing, it's with the whimper that unfortunately Koipon do go down. Congratulations to CU Boulder Black for winning in this 5-game extravaganza banger, winning out to take them to semifinals in Risen Unstoppable.
I think in the end, I'm gonna say it was a very. It felt quite decisive in the sort of ending minutes, but I'm still gonna boil them. I, I some parts I left me speechless. I'm speechless right now, but I think when you know the cards fell on the table, they did play it out quite well. There was some missteps, but I think in the end, I think it was the draft that really did kind of save them. They got the Lilian, they got the action, and I think that core really carried them through this final game.
Yeah, I just, there were so many like micro things that could have went just a little bit better for Koi. Like we talk about that missed Malphite ulti, but we talk about, the missed Viego. Like there was just one reset. Like the one Jin Deadly Flourish that whiffs doesn't secure the kill on Mayoka. That turns into more, and that turns into more. It's just these small little plays that add up over and over and over. And to the certain point, like you only get so many chances when you're equal in skill, right, Bushman? I'm sure you know from playing in your own leagues and casting many games is that the margin for error gets smaller and smaller as you make more and more plays, right? Like you can't keep messing up the plays when you're at that deficit, as the enemy team is not going to give you those opportunities again and again. Well, to be fair, Sue Boulder Black did give a lot of opportunities, but sometimes the luck turns in your favor and sometimes it doesn't, and those small margins end up being what kills you in the end. So shout out to Koi for a valiant effort taking it all the way to Game 5, but congrats has to go to CU Boulder Black that make it to semifinals, and I believe they're going to take on the Overgeared Avengers next week. Yeah, just a great 5-game banger. I loved seeing these players whip out some crazy picks. We even had a fearless draft for our casters here. Bushman, thank you for joining us. Game 2 and onward. I'm sure this is not what you expected to sign up for. Seeing all 4 games go all the distance, but in the end, it is one last shout out to Mr. That Man's, Mako, JVI, Anasui, and Lydia as your tournament run's going to end here, and Koipon are going to be sent packing back upstream.
Yeah, I was gonna play solo queue. Main team is playing in a local LAN tomorrow, so I was hoping to get some solo queue in, but I am too tired now. This took the wind out of me. This was too intense. I just need to close my eyes and think happy thoughts.
Hey, brother. Well, I'm happy. I'm sorry that it tired you out. No practice for you before your land tomorrow, but I am very happy that you decided to join us and share your expertise even closer. As you're even closer to the CU Boulder team as compared to many of our other cast. I don't know why I'm saying many. We literally had no casters, but thank you for putting a unique spin on things because you gave us some much needed insight on a team that I don't think I've seen play before. So really appreciative of you jumping in at a perfect time and providing such great commentary. That's I guess Sweden just really does do it better. As in the famous words of Quick Shot, we're in Sweden. It's reckless getting a pentakill.
Remember that. I couldn't go to that final. I was on the I was on a boat. I remember.
Oh, unfortunate, but
Mm.
from one Sweden superstar to another, I'm sure we'll see you back in some capacity, Bushman. But hope you get to celebrate with the CU Boulder boys. Again, congratulations to them as they're gonna, tee it up for a match against OGA next week. For everyone still watching, really appreciate you sitting through, especially for those East Coast baddies that are still staying up. I don't know if anybody is, but it's 1:30 for y'all. It's 11:30 pretty much for anybody else. Um, Thank you again. Shout out to Three Eyes for wonderful production, like always, and helping us figure out stuff, even though it's been really messy. Bushman, any final comments before we close off the stream?
Uh,
Any
uh,
shout outs you want to do? This is your time to shine. Just don't swear to
I
like I
wanna
did by
thank
accident.
I wanna thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank Twiglater for uh giving me or kind of making giving me the opportunity. And then if anyone wants to check out my, I'll just self plug a little bit. If you want to check out my league back home, it's Rivals League. I think it is in Swedish, but uh, it is worth to check out. Our main caster is the tallest emergency. What do you call it? ETA, ETM. Uh, oh, I forgot the word.
Responder. That's what you're
Yeah,
thinking of.
he's the
Okay.
tallest emergency responder in the country. Uh, and he checked. He was the biggest baby born at his um, hospital ever. Apparently,
That
he's a
is
tall
that
boy.
is crazy. Right.
So thank you.
I guess we're gonna end off on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, again, shout out to Bushman. Check out his socials. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure you'll find a way to plug them in the Risen Discord. Yeah, shout out to everybody still watching. Again, great appreciation to Three Eyes, to Friday, and Mayo who keep the league running. And yeah, I don't have any cool records to break other than how much noise I can make in the basement at 11:30. But really appreciate everyone for watching, and I'll be back here next Saturday, maybe for another 5 game banger, as we're not sure exactly who will be on that semifinals yet, but it is CU Boulder Black for sure playing against OGA if I have my cards right. And I will double check, sorry, for what the other matchup is. It's going to be XSV Chaos versus either Sin Kevin or XSV Dusk. We will see if we got the results. We do not. I don't know the results. So tune in next week for XSV Chaos versus either Sin Kevin or XSV Dusk. Maybe it's a battle of the sister teams, but we will be happy to take the cast to you again next week for Risen Esports Unstoppable League. Thank you again one last time for watching, sitting through this 5 game banger with us. I wish everybody a wonderful night and have a great time until we catch you next week for more Unstoppable.